Hey there, you're listening to You Still Going On About That with Rob Israel and Joseph K. You can find us anywhere you could download podcasts. You could also find us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at YSGOAT. Thanks for listening. I'm Rob Israel.
I'm Joseph K.
You still going on about
that?
All right, Joseph. Two big things.
Yeah.
You know that this is our 250th episode?
Oh, shoot. Yeah. You know, I saw that. I noticed that a couple weeks ago, but it had slipped my mind. This is 250, right?
It's the 250th episode.
Wow.
You know, I said by the episode 50, we'd be millionaires, but that doesn't seem to be happening.
No, not if you use American money.
What money are you using?
I invested heavily. I was one of the first in the Trump NFTs. That's just how I've converted all my savings into Trump NFTs.
Wise investment. Which one did you get?
Well, I had to get the one with him as Top Gun Maverick.
Oh yeah,
which was a classic. I did get the one of him as a superhero, and then this is a rare one and one that some collectors feel differently about. But I got him as the green M&M, which was
I got the one with him in a diaper. Scooping feces out of a toilet. I didn't expect that one.
Yeah, that was a weird one.
It said "baby make a big mess" on it, and
that's
I was like, they're just trying to get, he wants to corner the market. You got to get everybody. You got to get people who want him dressed up like firemen.
Yep.
Or a Chippendales dancer.
Yep.
And then there's some people who just want to see him eat poo while wearing a diaper.
Yes.
And,
yeah. So
I get, you gotta be president for everyone. He was he didn't narrowcast. He had a wide net of creeps and perverts. And
my so when the market rebounds and the Trump NFTs go back up to the value that they should be at, their natural value, certainly we will be millionaires. So,
that's great. I cannot wait. I'm going to hold my breath right now. Let's see what happens.
Yes. All right. So what's the other big news? That was the first big news. What's the second big news?
420, brother.
I had a whole bit prepared about that. I was going to talk about how I'm taking tomorrow off because 420 is a holiday for Bong Hit Joe, and I don't work on that day because it's like a religious exemption. But
it's also a big holiday for Nazis.
Oh yeah. Is that when the
Hitler's
original?
Birthday.
Yeah, and was that when the original Columbine shooting occurred? Was that on April 20th?
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah. It was done on Hitler's birthday.
Right. And because of that,
4 years ago.
Jeez.
Yeah.
We've come so far.
Oh, we back at 24 years ago when this never happened, and then it turns something that happens every other day.
Yeah.
Some way or form.
Well, yeah, 420. So, yeah,
good times.
Nice. Yeah.
So it's the 250th episode of the Mandalorian.
Right.
Wait. Yeah. No. It's the 250th episode of YSGOAT.
250 episode of YSGOAT. What episode of Mandalorian was it? Like 32 or? I feel like
I think it's only like 24 because April season they call it like chapter 24.
So that's right. There's 3 seasons, 8 to 24.
And basic multiplication, 3 times 8.
I had just read that they were going to have a 4th season, and I gave them a 4th season prematurely.
I wonder if they're going to give it a 4th season.
I was reading today that season 4 is already in the works.
They said that, I thought when the series started. Season 3 started, they said that they already wrote season 4 or something, and I thought maybe while watching, especially the last episode, maybe that was just to throw us off because it does end on it has a good climb. Like there's still a lot of things that could be explored and done, but it ends on a nice climatic moment where
you're right, and they almost end this episode in a way that the 4th season would be anticlimactic. Because the way they set it up is that Bo-Katan and the other...
We're going to talk about that.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about the episode. What are we talking about this week on our...
we're talking about
250th episode of
yeah.
About that.
We're going to talk about the season 3 finale of The Mandalorian. We're talking a little bit about the Fox settlement with Dominion. We're going to talk about Meatball Ron DeSantis and his big epic battle with Disney.
So stupid.
Yep. I have a funny thing to say about DeSantis. Some guy from the Washington Post was writing a big think piece article about how DeSantis has a shot against Trump and you shouldn't count him out.
I have a shot against Trump.
Well, his big thing is like Trump leads DeSantis by 50 points now. But if every other Republican drops out of the race, Trump's lead shrinks to 20 points. Like,
and that's not even true.
That's the good news.
Mike Pompeo just dropped out recently.
Yeah.
No one gives a single fuck about what's her face, former governor. What was it, South Carolina?
Oh, yeah, Nikki Haley.
I think she barely cracks 1%.
Right.
And then who else is there? And DeSantis isn't even a confirmed candidate.
Mike Pence.
And Mike Pence ain't gonna he'll get like 4%.
Yeah, he will. He'll get 4%. Almost all of that will be from Indiana youth pastors.
I think, yeah, exactly. I think if it did come down to Pence, DeSantis, I could see DeSantis pulling like 30% in the primary with like just the more like hardcore evangelicals. But I don't know. I maybe I'm giving him too much credit, but it's still a complete beating. I mean, 30% is still a massive loss, but like,
well, we'll talk about him.
Yeah.
Then we're talking about the series of shootings, not your normal shootings, but like an unusual series of shootings in which people shot kids.
It's people who
are standing their ground.
Told every day why you need a gun, and they used it as an excuse to finally use their gun. And these things are the most like ridiculous. They're not justifiable in any way.
No,
it's disgusting.
We're going to talk about a crazy story out of McCurtain, Oklahoma, which is really terrifying. Talk about Diane Feinstein a little bit. The abortion pill, the Supreme Court gave it a stay. So the abortion pill is still legal until Friday, at least. And then we're talking about some wacko in Kansas that threw Bud Light or Bush cans.
Well, this continues the right wing always has like a new thing to attack every once in a while. Last year it was Mr. Potato Head and like Aunt Jemima syrup, the butter, and Dr. Seuss, and now this year it's Bud Light, and we'll get into that. Jam-packed episode, Phil. And who knows? Maybe for our 250th episode, we'll get a special guest. I don't know who that is.
Yeah,
Dr. Roxo from Death Club.
There you go.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. So, what do you think of Mandalorian?
What
do you think of Mandalorian?
It was good. One thing I always do whenever I watch, it was a season finale, season 3. The one thing I always do when I put on an episode of Mandalorian, Star Wars show, and even some of the Marvel ones, I'll pause it to see how long the episode is.
Yes, I do that too.
Last week it was a decent length. It was like a little longer, but this episode was like one of the shorter ones, and I was like, I was not expecting that. I really thought this would be like a long episode. Now this episode moves quick, and there's a lot that happens, but I just thought it would be like an hour at least. I didn't think it would be,
There's like 38 minutes.
Yeah, I thought,
and I think that's with credits and everything. It's probably really only about 35.
Yeah. So I liked it. I mean, it's good. What do you think?
I liked it a whole bunch.
I thought it was crazy when Grogu said somehow Palpatine's return.
Yes. It was a very sophisticated first sentence for him. It was very. I loved it. I thought Well, it looked amazing. The effects and the action scenes were near perfect. I thought it tied up a lot of the things that I wanted tied up. It opened a few doors so you could see how this would dovetail into future Star Wars stuff. I thought they did.
We're gonna talk spoilers, so we'll spoil us right away. So if you didn't watch Mandalorian season 4, probably gonna talk about this for the next 4 minutes to 2 hours.
Yes. Yes.
It's my it's a wide gap, I don't know. I'm trying to narrow it down for you guys. It could be 4 minutes to 6 hour conversation.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, we'll see. It'll probably be, I would say like 20 minutes. Let's just say
that's a fair assumption.
I don't want to go longer than the actual episode.
Yeah.
So, spoilers. Characters that I thought were going to show up did not show up. People will assume Boba Fett would show up. He did not show up at all.
Yep, I could see that.
I'm not shocked about that. I'm sure Boba Fett will come back in some form.
He's probably
he's a Mandalorian, but like he's not involved with that bullshit.
He spent that whole time in a Bacta tank, remembering.
He's too busy having a weird flashback in a Bacta tank about riding a bantha,
right?
Like a bantha.
Yeah.
And then Ahsoka didn't show up, which I thought was interesting. I figured like there'd be maybe a little after credit scene because Ahsoka's the next show.
Yeah,
it comes out in August, and we know Grand Admiral Thrawn's going to be in it, and the Rebels characters are going to show up, and Mon Mama, Yo Mama's in it,
right?
She's going to be in it and everything. And I just thought like maybe with everything going on in the Republic, like maybe they would have been just like an end credit scene, because even like end of season 2 of Mandalorian had that end credit scene where Boba Fett comes and shoots Bib Fortuna.
Yeah,
down
right.
the throne, and it said coming soon, Book of Boba Fett. I thought maybe like could have ended too with like someone discussing like Gideon has fallen or something, and they're on a ship, and like,
but now a new threat. Yeah,
Grand Admiral Thrawn turns around and does like a Thanos, like he looks at the camera.
Yeah,
not worshiping death or whatever, just like in the end of Avengers.
Yeah, that would work.
I thought like maybe we'd get something like that, or it kind of just ended. Like it ends very clean. There's no after credit scene at all. I thought
no.
Like I'm glad Luke wasn't in it. It would make no sense to have Luke show up.
Yeah.
I'm glad. Like I said, Boba Fett, if he showed up early in the season, then it would make sense for him to show up. But to have him just plop in the end of the season, if he's something weird like and just have a character take over a show for 2 episodes.
Well, it would be weird too, because you have Bo-Katan in there, and if Boba Fett shows up, then like, well, what is Bo-Katan doing? She needed to be part of that hero arc,
Yeah. Now, of course, people would say, "Well, we got a whole episode about Dr. Pershing." Well, yeah, dude. Ever since I saw season 1, I was like, "We need to see a whole fucking episode with that guy." That guy, that little dweeb, likes cookies.
Need a backstory.
Yeah, dude. We need a good solid 30-40 minutes of an episode.
Well, I thought it was weird. Like at the end of this episode, you're right. It feels like a series finale, like a good series finale.
Right. I was like just shocked that like some things did not happen in this episode. Like I said, I don't know what and I love that everybody was fucking wrong. Everybody. I saw so many people talking about like, Armory.
Yep.
Armorer was this traitor. She wasn't at all.
And
if she isn't, if she is, she's playing the long game here.
Yeah, the real.
I think she's just clearly just a orthodox character, and she wanted to get her people back on Mandalore, so they had a place to stay and not hide anymore. And it's like I mean, like, is there an interesting backstory? Like, some people were saying, like who was Din's like adopted parent, and some people are saying it's
sure,
honorary, but I don't think it is. I think maybe I think it's just. I would say maybe it's like, who cares?
Yeah, I think that's it. I think it's like that was a different time.
I will say the one thing I was shocked about this episode too is we did not get Pedro Pascal once this season.
Right.
And I'm like wondering, did he just do voiceover and that's it? Was he on the set ever? Like, I feel like it's him.
Yeah, look, I could be wrong because I didn't read this from like an official source, but I read in a couple places that he just did voiceover, and the Mandalorian character was played by two like stunt doubles, basically.
It'd be funny if one of them was like fat.
Well,
I had a lot
weird,
of
like I for the longest time I was like, maybe Pedro Pascal wants to not do this show because they never show his face. Now I'm thinking the opposite. Now I'm thinking he's like, this is like free money, and I just got to like do a Zoom.
Why would he not do the show? Like, right? I hate those dumb stories. Pedro Pascal's angry. Oh yeah, do you know him?
Right.
Kathleen Kennedy's going to be fired. No, she's not. Because here's the thing that's funny about these jackasses who like they always make these videos like Kathleen Kennedy's on the way out.
Right.
Yeah, by who?
Yeah.
Star Wars makes money in any way, in any form. It ain't going anywhere. And I said this to anybody who says like, oh, Jon Favreau, like they try to give him and Filoni all the credit for these shows. Yeah, she deserves the credit too. That's how it works.
Yeah, it is.
Like if I hire you for a job and you're successful at it, well, guess what? I succeeded.
Yeah.
That's how management and executives work.
Yeah.
It's kind of, I just love though that like they're always like this, and then like the bullshit about Pascal. I'm like, why would he leave? And especially if it is just voiceover work, I'm sure he showed up on the set, but like,
well,
I'm just shocked that we did not get his face at all this season.
Before he became a bigger star, I could see him being like, look, I need to get my face out there. I need to do projects.
He was already getting pretty big before he was in The Mandalorian.
Exactly. Yeah.
That season of Game of Thrones made him, he got so many roles because of that. He was in tons of movies and like he was showing up in lots of things. And that all that did was just get the ball rolling even more. And then with freaking whatchamacallit this year doing Last of Us, which got so much attention and everything, and he was great on that.
Yeah.
Essentially playing the same fucking character almost.
Same thing, yeah.
Almost. Yeah. But like, I don't know. I don't believe any of that shit. I think it's like, I like making money. This show is successful. I will forever be known as the Mandalorian. I was just shocked that he didn't show up this season at all once.
I am too.
Last season, we got you see his face for like 1 second in like for a few seconds in the first season when he's hurt. And IG-88 gives him some Bacta, which is funny because in this episode,
that was great.
Grogu does the same thing and like he's just spraying it on him. And he's like, hey, Grogu, fine, don't have to stop.
Like back teen, right on the armor, like not even on
right on the helmet. This is really funny. It's cute. It's like, Grogu is like Stewie, where you forget he's a baby sometimes.
Yeah.
And stuff to remind you, like, oh yeah, he's like an infant. Like he's not like a toddler. He doesn't like, fully grasp things 100%. You know.
Well,
But I'm just shocked that we didn't get his face once, because even in season 2, we got that whole episode with Bill Burr's character where he was essentially, his mask was off the entire time, and it's kind of funny because it's like. The armor is just like, you showed your face to Grogu or something, and that's why you need to take go to the Mandalore and swim in the water. And he's like, yeah, that's all I did. Don't worry about that time where everyone saw my fucking face.
Well, there's a couple weird things with that. First, I thought we'd see Pedro Pascal's face this season because they cleared a path for it by saying Katie Sackhoff's character, Bo-Katan, could go without a mask. So
but he believes in it. That's the difference.
Yeah. But also to that point, he said things like, look, I don't believe in the Darksaber. I believe in you, you know, and you
but the Darksaber doesn't fit into his form of whatever Mandalore is. Like, it's not part of his sect. He was grown up with the helmet staying on, and the Darksaber means shit. Like, he didn't even know what it was.
Yeah, that's a good point. But anyway, I thought that for sure at the end we'd see him walking in to go visit that sheriff, Carl Weathers, the whatever he calls himself. I thought we would see him go in and take off his helmet, and that would be the end of the
I don't know. I don't think he would do that. If anything, it would just been more like when he's just at his house in the end.
Yeah.
He's kind of just sitting there relaxing while Grogu's doing like his little Jedi stuff with the frog. Yeah. Like, I figured maybe he'd just like take his helmet off and chill. It's like, I'm home and by myself, and this is actually when I can take my helmet off.
Right.
But I just did not expect it. I was thrown off by that. I figured he would have. You would have
me too.
Once. And does it bother me in the show? No, not at all. I just more of just like, I was just shocked it didn't happen. It was like, there was, out of all the things, that would have just been the time to do it,
Yeah, would have been a good fit. But
and like, I don't know, with everything fucking changing too, I think, I should be able to show my kid should be able to see my phone.
Yeah, right.
Who's he gonna tell? He's a little fucking.
You're gonna tell me they're never gonna eat together? Like,
he's
that'll never happen.
He's a little green gremlin. Like, like, what's he gonna do? He's gonna go, like,
right.
So I don't know. Like I said, I liked it, but I just feel like there were some things that, like, I was just kind of shocked it didn't happen. I'm glad the Armory wasn't a bad guy.
Oh yeah, me too.
I just think it's funny when all these people have like these theories and they're so sure about it, and they're always wrong. Always.
Yeah, in this instance, they really were
complex than it ends up being, or they're just completely off, and the story's complex, but it's not in any of the stuff that they thought it was going to be.
Yeah, it was. I kind of fell into that. I thought the armor was going to be revealed to be traitor. There
was a character in the Clone Wars that everybody thought was going to be. It was this woman that worked with the head bad Mandalorian. But I feel like if that was the case, Bo-Katan would have knew that was her from the voice alone. Because she would have just known. She would have been like, you're this character. And then forgot the name of this character, but she was like a guy, and she was in the Clone Wars, and I think she might have been in the Rebels cartoon. And something happened, you never saw her again. Like, whatever, the Death Watch people lost or whatever. Right. And we never saw her, and everyone just assumed that she became the Armorer. And I don't know. I like the way it ends too, with like everybody, the culture, like they're taking back the planet. They learn in the episode. There's a great scene where the people, Skinny Pete from Dad and that other dude, and they're explaining about like how there's this environment that's growing under all the glass and everything, and this is the original habitat of Mandalore,
right? And native species and stuff like that.
Because like they always talk about, basically, Bo-Katan talks about how like they lived in dome cities and the environment outside was not good. You lived in these cities, and it was because of years of like civil war, like destroyed the planet. So with the joke being like, it's kind of almost like that book, The World Without Us, with people living on the planet. Like there was just a couple of survivors, a couple of stragglers from her group or whatever that stayed behind. It allowed the planet to regrow itself, and like it's kind of like the same thing with like The Last of Us, where you see like nature taking over. It's like nature's finally taken over in Mandalore, and it's like, oh yeah, they get to be this new thing now. They don't need to be living in these dome cities. Darksaber's destroyed, so the culture of like trying to like the Darksaber's basically, since the last episode of season 1, when Gideon pulls it out in the end, you're like, what the fuck is that? And I remember everybody's like, well, that's from the Clone Wars, that's from the Rebels cartoon. Most people are just like, I just watched this show. I don't know.
Right.
It's like it's like the Ring in Lord of the Rings. It's like it's this like symbol. It either has power, it gives power, it corrupts people. By owning the Darksaber, it also makes you a target for someone to take. So in the battle in the end between Gideon, Bo-Katan and and Djarin kind of goes back and forth, and it ends up becoming a fight between Bo-Katan and Gideon. He crushes in her hand the Darksaber. And as cool as that thing is, it's probably the best thing. He did them a favor, actually, like getting rid of it, because it's like now Mandalore can become this new society that's not based on like who's more powerful, who has bigger stick. And
there's a nice scene too where they're all there to restart the forge.
Like some are wearing the helmet, some are not, and it's kind of just showing people coming together that are different. And
because there was 3 groups. There was the non-helmet wearers, the helmet wearers, and then that third group
who need to take a bath, who've been
well, they don't wear helmets, but they've been there all along. I mean, so it was multiple different groups, and Bo-Katan even says like we're Darth Maul, Moff Gideon says like you guys are nothing without your trinkets,
which is funny because he's literally wearing
a trinket
outfit that makes him something, which is a trinket. I just thought that was fun. I'm like watching. I'm like, motherfucker, you were literally wearing a Dark Trooper / Mandalore costume, because he had like it's kind of cybernetic a little bit too, because it was like Dark Trooper from last.
Yeah, you could hear the motors.
Yeah, and I just thought that was kind of funny. I'm like,
yeah, that was ironic.
You know, these right wingers, they project a lot.
Yeah, right.
Well, right-wing despots like Grand Moff Gideon, they tend to project.
Yeah, project. But but Bo-Katan's like, no, we're stronger together, and that's kind of how it ended.
And I like, when Mando helps, and it's like, we fight together and everything. And then I like the whole in the ending, that kid who was baptized in the first season.
Yes,
he gets rebaptized. Probably one as like a ceremony because his dad was killed in the last episode.
Right.
His father was taken out by the what were they called? The something
Praetorian guards, I think.
Yeah. And then also in the first episode when the kid was in the water, he was a big giant sea monster came out and attacked them. So I think he got interrupted. So they did it over. And then they were gonna do one for Grogu, but like he can't talk. And then he was like all sad, remember? He was a little face.
Yeah.
I just think it's so funny how little. What is he, like a foot? You think he's like a foot
maybe
tall?
He looks like he comes up to the knee, like to
no.
No.
I don't. He's so tiny. It's funny.
They
when they smush him into that IG-88 the last episode. See, I watched that clip of him just eating food.
Oh. When that's so funny.
He uses the IG robot and he grabs it and he just sitting there and he's like snacking. Like I could watch that on a loop.
Again, I saw a lot of those on TikTok. I saw a lot of those on TikTok, and you can watch them in a loop. It was
really great. I could watch that forever. It's too fucking funny.
Yeah. That was nice too to see in this how like Grogu, he wasn't like so defenseless.
Din Grogu.
He would like step up to the plate and he'd help, and it was really cool.
His character is definitely evolved because like even in the end of the episode so everyone kind of gets separated. Mando or Djarin, I guess, frees himself fighting those stormtroopers. He's able to like kind of free him. They're like take him away, and then he kind of frees himself. But he starts getting beaten up, but then Grogu is the one that stayed behind to make sure to save Djarin, and he's in that IG-8 thing, and you hear him go, no, and it's just like he helps take out the people.
Yeah.
I thought he would go a little more crazy, but
I did too. But he's still real young, kind of mastering it.
Yeah, I'm expecting me doing like flips and shit.
Right. It was cool. Because it started out real subtle. Like often one of those Praetorian guards would just trip or something, and it was like you knew Grogu did it, but it wasn't like super clear. You know, I mean,
so Grogu is able to. Yeah, that's the scene too, where like he's spraying the Bacta on. I thought that was really funny. But then like later on, he's alone, and he's as he's fighting Gideon. he's in the IG-12 robot and gets pushed off and to fight those Praetorian guards, and that's when Djarin's like, oh shit, like,
oh yeah,
kill him. But he's able to like kind of hold his own for a little while. Yeah. While he's doing they destroy the suit the robot body pretty quickly. He gets out and he's on this thing on like
a light fixture or something.
Yeah, he's hanging and you see his little feet, like he's just like around
jumping around and stuff.
He's doing all the flips and shit. He doesn't have a lightsaber, but he does use a weapon. Doesn't he get his hand on a weapon?
He does, but I don't think he uses it. He pulls one of their weapons aside, but I don't think he uses it.
Oh man, that would have been sick if he had the his lightsaber the whole time. That would have been a good little like, oh shit moment. Like, oh yeah, I had this the whole time.
Right.
Because like Luke shows him that lightsaber in the Book of Boba Fett. He's like, I could give you
you can pick
this or
that.
Yeah. And it's like, well, why not both? Can't have the armor and a lightsaber? No, you have to die. Like, you can't have protection. Only Sith Lords use armor to protect themselves.
Right.
All right, Luke, whatever. So, why don't you open the door for another Sith to destroy everything, you jackass? So, he's doing all kinds of flips, and then later on, there's like the big fireball, whatever. The ship's crashing. I'm not going to recap the whole fucking episode. They're the big fleet ship that the Mandalorian,
the capital ship,
over. The one guy uses that as like a weapon to crash it, and what's his face just gets incinerated, and Moff Gideon, he's completely incinerated. But Grogu does like it actually goes back to the first season where he stops that fireball. It's like that stormtrooper fire, the flamethrower. He kind of blocked it.
Puts up like a force bubble.
Yeah, this time it's even bigger. He's getting stronger because when he did that in the first season, he passes right out.
That's right. Yeah, like he used to pass out all the time.
Totally tuckered out, but now it's like he does it and he's just like sits down. He's a little tired, so it's like he's getting stronger with the Force, and like I feel like. And maybe they'll explain this in another season or whatever, or some fucking comic or something. They'll explain that, like, whatever happened to him between the Clone Wars and with the first episode of Mandalorian.
Right.
Maybe he was like kind of like in a coma in that egg.
Could be.
Like maybe he was like, or he was like, so it kind of stunted him a bit.
Right.
He's a baby, and like IG-11 says that like certain species age differently, and since he lives like 1,000 years old, he'll be like 100 by the time maybe he gets to be a teenager or whatever.
Right.
But I think it's more also like he might have been stunted because like he was held, and who knows? We don't know. We only got a little taste this season of when they showed him getting freed in the Clone Wars by Ahmed Best Jedi. I'm curious that that was a big thing to reveal this season. I'm assuming next season we'll get another flashback of like, well, what happened after that? Did he?
Yeah, that'd be good.
Naboo. So I thought that was cool. We kind of, and again, I feel like a lot of the complaints this season, this is like the one season I think maybe where if they aired them all at once, I think people wouldn't have complained as much because
I think you're right.
Like the Dr. Pershing episode, like it all makes sense now. Like, okay, why did that woman who works for Gideon destroy? Like, why did she mind wipe him? Because Gideon was making his own clones. You find out that he and the blood that he got from Grogu, these clones were going to basically be Sith
Force, Force sensitive at least.
Yeah. And you find out the big plan was that Gideon, why he wanted Grogu to begin with, why, everybody was like, this is leading to Emperor Palpatine's return in Rise of Skywalker. And I'm like, ugh. And I'm kind of was like relieved that like,
me too.
Still like 25 plus years away from that stupid storyline. And by learning that, no, Gideon was using the technology for himself because he wanted to become the next emperor. That's why he's like, screw this admiral throne in the last episode. Like,
right.
if everything works out the way I wanted, you guys are all gonna be working for me and my fucking clone army of
it's clone army
of me evil Jedis. Like, and so I thought that was kind of cool. And they had kind of like wrapped everything up, tied everything together. Obviously, what's her face is still around. I forgot her name. The woman that's part of the rehabilitation or whatever they call it again. What's the program?
It's like a second chance program. I forget the name of it, but she's basically a plant. She's kind of a mole.
Well, you found out in the last episode they made it. I mean, it couldn't be any more obvious when she was talking to the Imperials, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like, so I thought that was cool. The battle scenes were amazing. I feel like, again, like, this shit looks so good. Like, first season, it looked like, okay, there's some good stuff here. Looks like a show. Like, I remember people saying, like, it kind of reminded them of old school Star Wars because it's like limitations of the show kind of makes it almost look like the first movie in a way. It's like, second season, they took it up a notch and they were bigger. Like, there was just more stuff. But this season was insane.
It looks amazing. It was really good.
This scene looked like, especially that last episode, looked like a fucking movie.
Yeah.
When all of them are on the jetpacks and there's like hundreds of the troopers coming at them.
Yep.
I'm like, I feel like I'm watching a movie here. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, you wonder how it would look on a big screen.
I would imagine it would look great. I don't know. I'm watching it on a decent sized Sony's TV. Like, it's not like 80 inches or whatever, but still, it's a big screen. And I'm just like, this looks amazing. And I'm like, that's what I mean. Like, they announced those movies. I'm just like, what the fuck are you gonna do?
Right.
It's crazy, man. Like, it's like, I mean, I'm not complaining. I love it.
Oh no, it's great. And I don't know. I mean, you're right though. The gap between the special effects you see in the movies and the special effects you see on the shows, I'm not sure there is a gap anymore.
Yeah, I mean, like, I feel like with the Marvel shows, they're big and they look great, but the movies are still like another level. But it's nuts. Like, especially, and like I said, especially this show in this season, like how good it looks is just like the pirate ship battle in episode 5.
That was good. And
then this episode was just the environments and like how Mandalore looked. It's crazy. I'm like shocked how, I don't know. So the one other thing I like too, and I'll ask you next. It's kind of interesting, like when they're doing the ceremonies in the end, and the armorer is just like, well, now you can go. Now you have this apprentice, you got to go on adventures like you did when you were little. And it's like totally like a setup for season 4. Like, and I said that too. I said that like, and I said this like, to follow like the whole Western or like the hero or even like Mad Max, like they never stay in the same place all at once. They just don't. That's like, and of course he's going to move on to his next adventure with his trusty sidekick Grogu, or whatever you want, his son or whatever. Even though like he has the house in the end, he's like relaxing like Thanos does in the end of Infinity War.
Yeah.
That shit ain't gonna last.
Well, it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't even look like that for it doesn't look like that for Mandalorian for Jim.
Well, he even says what is the first thing he does?
He tracks down the rebel commander or whatever his name
whatever
is.
the New Republic commander at the I don't know, it's like the Copacabana or whatever. Place. And he stops and he talks to that guy, which I'm just like, how did he know it was there?
Yeah.
Oh, he probably didn't know. He asked R5D4. Maybe that's it. Dude, R5D4 was awesome in this episode.
Oh yeah, he came in clutch.
That was so good. Like, let me tell you, like R5D4 is awesome. Like, he's just like a skittish. He's like R2D2, but like skittish.
Yeah.
Like, he's R2 without the confidence. It's kind of funny. Like, R2's like, he's confident.
But this one gets the job done for the most part.
No, yeah, it does. The mouse droid thing was pretty funny.
Yeah.
And then they had the little alarms, and they don't even do anything. And he just like pulls out this little electrocution thing. Then, yeah, of course, he has a rocket pack too, just like R2 did.
Yeah.
In the prequels only, not in the original trilogy.
Yeah,
they broke. That's why they didn't have him. They broke.
Yeah.
So
yes.
Yeah, he basically, it's like a setup for like, hey, you're gonna need jobs done. I know you have a problem doing things.
Right.
And I volunteer my services, but you'll pay me. So it's like a new like he's not a bounty hunter.
Right.
Really. He's
like
hero.
An off the record sheriff.
He's a
like
hero
that.
for hire.
Yeah.
So I thought that was like a cool little setup. Like, he's going to help out the New Republic.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I don't know. All right, so what didn't you like?
I wish it were a little longer. It ended to me feeling like the next season's going to be smaller. You know what I mean? Like they had this big epic battle they were fighting over the last 3 seasons. And then what is he just going to go chill at home and do some contract work when it's there? It just seemed like an underwhelming exit.
I feel like that is how it's left off, but I feel like whatever happens, that's not going to be, he's going to get sucked into something. And I think it'd be kind of cool to get him sucked into something that does not involve Mandalore. Like, I'm sure I'm sure what will happen is he will visit Mandalore and you will see a bit of the society, like, and not looking so ruined anymore.
Yeah.
And Bo-Katan and the Armorer are lovers.
That's tall order.
I don't think it's out of the I don't think it's out of the I think it could happen.
Yeah, I can see that. Okay.
And they said this was the only way to unite our two sides.
These 2 houses.
Was by scissoring.
Oh jeez.
Which is and it's not spelled the way you think, because it's Star Wars.
Right.
It's
X's and Z's in there.
T X I Y Sizor ring. So that's gonna be cool. Can't wait for that.
Yeah, that'll be good.
And they have a bed and breakfast together.
Oh, nice.
They drive a Subaru.
Okay, makes sense. Sure.
Yeah. That's gonna be a good episode. I can't wait for that. I hope they do a whole hour.
I hope they do like a Willow crossover where Willow and the gang meet them and they're chopping wood. And
sure, why not? Oh, actually, that's them. The lumberjacks in that episode.
Right. Yeah. Oh, look. Overall,
why is there like 2 cowgirls in this episode? Like, what's going on in that show?
So weird.
Yeah. So, I feel like we'll get, just kind of like how in this season when, Djarin shows up and you see Navarro is like evolving all like it. First season, it's a shithole. And the second season, it's starting to pick up. And then the third season, it's like this up and coming, booming city. Everything looks
nice
better.
town.
The little salacious crumbs are treated better. I feel like that's what will happen in season 4 of Mandalorian. Mandalorian, he'll show up and for an episode or 2 of Mandalore, and you'll see it like evolve.
Okay, I can see that.
Where like there's farming and like, so that'll be cool, and everyone's kind of getting along,
right?
And he'll just go on different adventures, but who knows? I'm curious when that, like, they didn't announce it, like, okay, like, are we got to wait a really long ass time for this 4th season? Like, I mean, I doubt it'll be next year because
I'll bet it's the year after.
You got Ahsoka, and next year you got like the Acolyte, Skeleton Crew, and Andor season 2.
Okay,
so it's doubtful we'll get it there.
Right, I doubt it,
but I guess I'll have to wait till 2025.
It's
kind of funny, like in Andor season 2, they just give a bunch of episodes to
Yeah, that would be it.
Which would make no sense because it's like 25 years later.
God.
Or it's like 15 years later.
Right. Oh. Well, yeah. I'm looking forward to
like about the episode.
Didn't I like?
Yeah.
Well, I like the length. I thought I guess that's what I was saying is that the ending to me, it felt like, oh, this is the end of the series, but I don't think it's the end of the series.
It had a good finale where if it ended there, it wouldn't be the end of the world.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say so.
I mean, I feel like, I would have liked to know like what happened to Grogu more.
Yeah.
Like, I would like, but then again, I didn't think we'd ever get that backstory really.
Right. Ultimately, The Mandalorian has been a really great Star Wars property, and there's not a ton to complain about, really,
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I want to now, like, now that it's all done, I might go back and maybe not right away, but the next couple of weeks, we watch the whole thing again and just, like...
Yeah, like, in order.
See how it connects better and just, like, try to do a bunch of it at a time, have it play a bunch at a time, like... I'm sure it'll, like I said, I feel like this is the one season that probably people would have bitched less if they dumped them all at once, which they're never going to do.
Yes, no, I agree.
I'll also say real quick too, before we move on, one of the complaints I always see people say about these shows and stuff is like, nothing ever happened. Like, I don't understand. The good guy's not going to get killed, so who cares? And I'm like, what the like people's brains? Like back in the day, you'd watch a show, and the fall guy, he'd do his thing, and he'd fall, but he'd get up, right? That was what that show was about.
Yes, exactly. And not anything really to do with Hollywood or stunts, but he was just a clumsy dude.
Really, dude. But you knew he was going to get out, and fall down and get the next episode.
Right.
No one ever said, "What the fuck, man? What's the fall guy going to die?" And I'd say, people's, especially in like this type of like genre type of TV or entertainment, when it comes to like Star Wars, people have been like, their minds have been broken by like Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
And Walking Dead, where they just expect the heroes to get killed all the fucking time. Like
big death scenes,
Because I'll say, I could see the one complaint people might have about this episode is like, I mean, except for that one guy, what was the Vizsla guy who gets killed, the big dude with the Gatling gun? He got killed. That was probably the most major death of the season. Besides Gina Carano's career.
Yeah.
No one really big died in this at the finale. Like even the dude who, that one guy, I forgot his name, the one that Bo challenges in like episode 6, and then like she takes the leadership from him. You think he's gonna like sacrifice himself, but no, he breaks the window and uses his little line to get the hell out. And I thought that scene was sick though, when he's like rocketing all the way up. Like, what
is his name on the show? Is it Woves? Like God, it was just on the tip of my tongue. He's a good character. I think they use him in a good amount too. Like, you don't need a ton of that character, but
he only was in like one episode last season, and I think it's a good amount. But I mean, like, I really thought that he was gonna get killed, like that. Yeah, he was gonna like sacrifice himself, but no, he get the hell out, which I'm fine with. Like I said, but there really were no major deaths in this show, which, I mean, good. What's wrong with that? Yeah,
no, it's good TV.
So, I mean, are you saying that Star Wars is done?
I canceled it. No, it's good. This series felt like it could be the end of the Mandalorian series. Not that these characters wouldn't show up in other properties and stuff, but
like I can see Mando showing up. Some people are like, "Oh, well, the next show will be called Rangers Republic starring Mando." And I'm like, "No, I don't." I think you were telling that to me, like, "Oh, like." I don't think the Mandalore people will be a show. No, I don't think anyone. I don't think anyone really wants to see that. I think like it worked for the story arc of the season.
Could be, yeah.
But I don't think that like what I think will happen is that season 4 will kind of be more like the characters have evolved, but it'll go back to more of the way season 1 was, where it's like going to different planets. Season 2 was like that too. Going on different missions for the New Republic. One of them will involve him having to go back to Mandalore.
Yeah,
or whatever.
I could see that.
But I think that Rangers of the Republic show is just canceled. Like that, people need to just get that name out of their mind. It didn't happen. Once Gina Carano got fired, they were like, "Yeah, never mind."
Yeah.
And like, honestly, like, what else could they have done on that show? Like, I think it would have just felt like a spin-off where it's like, it's like, you ever watch The Walking Dead?
Oh yeah.
You remember like Fear the Walking Dead?
Yep, I do.
It just always felt, no matter what they did on that show, it always felt like just like a cheap knockoff of Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Like, anything you watch, when you watched it, you were like, okay. The only thing, Walking Dead's like the important Walking Dead.
Right.
And I remember as a kid, there was like all these different Spider-Man books. It's like Amazing Spider-Man, and then there was like Spectacular, and then there was like
then there was one, the Peter Parker one.
Yeah, well, Peter Parker's Spectacular Spider-Man. It was like
that's right. Yeah.
Title. It was like 30 words. It was like Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man. Like, can you make that title fucking longer? But like, you always knew, even as a kid, that the big stuff always happened in Amazing. Like,
that would make sense.
And I feel like that's what the case would have been like with like a new, whatever the fuck they're called.
Yeah.
Ranger. You would know that the big shit would be the Mandalorian. All right. I think we're good. I think we could talk about something else.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I think so. All right. So the next thing we have is the Fox settlement, which I have mixed feelings about. Fox News settled. They were going to trial. A jury got picked, and they were just about to make opening arguments, and then they settled. And Dominion got, I want to say, like $750 million out of Fox.
Something like that. 788 million or something. No, 788 million.
Well, part of me was really angry because they didn't fight to make Fox admit they were liars, and they
I thought maybe that would have been like a stipulation, like you gotta make like Maria Bartiromo and Tucker Carlson apologize on air.
I would have. But Dominion was like, no, after they got that big dollar amount, they're like, no, we're good. And I kind of get that. Like, it's not Dominion's job to fix this problem, Well,
it would have been, I mean, like,
it's Merrick Garland's job. It's the administration's job. If Fox is doing
but it's
shit
not really
like that,
I mean, there's a lot of FCC. There's a lot of, like, when it comes to Fox News, at the end of the day, Fox News is a fucking propaganda arm of the Republican Party. That's just a fucking fact. Anyone that doesn't realize that, brain is stew. But the reality is that I'm sure originally they probably offered like $100 million as a settlement, or who knows? There's probably like $20 million as a settlement.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Fuck that, we'll take you to court." And it kept on dragging out. And the reality is that Fox News, if they went on TV and had to apologize to their viewers, saying like, "We lied about January 6th, or we lied about 2020 election. The election was not stolen. Donald Trump lost."
Right.
That's just the reality. That would have been it. You can't spook the suckers.
Right. No, you can't.
Their audience are filled with a bunch of fucking suckers. They're being convinced that the Democrats are the ones that are responsible for every fault in the world, globalists, everything. It's all about keeping their eye off the ball. Like, they are telling them, like, oh, the Biden crime family is connected to China, while completely ignoring the fact that Trump made so many business deals with China, and his kids were given daughter was given like millions of dollars on patents with China. You don't hear that ever.
No.
I mean, they're a literal arm of the Republican Party. They have been that way for decades. They helped get elected in 2000. They helped propagate pushed propaganda on the Iraq War.
Mm-hmm.
They pushed the fucking Tea Party bullshit. They pushed this lie. Yeah, like, would it have been great if they gone to court? Yeah, I guess so. It would have been awesome. But, you know, at the end of the day, Dominion is a business, not a person.
Yeah.
And they wanted to get their money and their whatever they lost. Losses. I mean, it sucks, but I mean,
it's not their job. It's other people's job.
But the reality is, at the end of the day, the story still is Fox News had to pay a settlement to a company because they lied. Fox News didn't pay them because they didn't lie.
Right.
You know, you're like, people who don't, you know, it's like OJ was found innocent in the trial that would have sent him to jail. But the civil trial basically confirmed his guilt that he killed those two people. Because innocent people usually don't have to pay the families off like OJ.
Yeah, that's a
that's why like Kyle Rittenhouse is like, you know, with that whole, so I guess he's countersued that guy or something, the one who attacked him with the skateboard first.
No, this is
now, did you hear about that?
With the skateboard?
The guy who is so I guess Kyle Rittenhouse is facing 2 civil trials. And one of them, the guy that he blew a hole, like the one guy who did not get killed by him, but was like, had a hole in his arm by Rittenhouse. Supposedly he attacked him with a skateboard or whatever it is. So
I did hear this,
Rittenhouse is countersuing him, which I think is hysterical. But again, it's like the whole OJ thing. That's probably what they know. Is like, dude, you're going to be found guilty of this in the civil trial. So Fox is guilty as fuck. And the fact is, in the end of the day, regardless if they went to court anyone with a rational brain knows that they lied. They always lie. They're a propaganda channel. They're in bed with the Republican Party. They do campaign work for them. They do campaign events in the guise of news. They host Ron DeSantis signing bills on Fox News as if it's a presidential event. It's all propaganda. Fox News is pure shit. And the fact that they had to pay this company almost $1 billion to go away, that's a sign of guilt. And it opens the door. I think it opens the door for future cases against them. I think, like, you know, I mean, fuck. Paul Pelosi should sue Fox News.
Oh, easily, yeah. The suing works. That's the only thing that works.
Yeah, I mean, look at fucking Alex Jones.
Yeah.
I mean, fucking, at the end of the day, he's still doing his show. He's still making money.
Yeah, but he'll always have someone trying to hold him into account, you know?
Yeah, but I mean, he's not going anywhere, you know? But Fox News, it's a suck. It would have been cool if the stipulation was that certain people on, like, Sean Hannity, Marie Bartiromo, like, they would have to apologize on air or say, or not even apologize, just say, you know, like, editorial fact.
Right.
Trump lost the election in 2020.
Yeah.
They don't even have to say that. They could just say that we found no wrongdoing in the election in 2020. They don't have to say Trump lost.
Right. That is true. Yeah.
It's hysterical that Trump has cost Fox almost $1 billion.
Oh, yeah.
I think
they're going to keep doing it too, you know?
I hope that this isn't. Now, is it true though? Oh no, Dominion's going after Newsmax and OAN, right?
Yes. The 2 things that are happening is, one, another company is suing Fox next. When they get to use it's like a Smartmatic, a voting machine, just like Dominion. And they're taking people to court, taking corporations and people to court, I think starting tomorrow. That'll be a big deal. And from what I understand, the plaintiffs in that case can use the statements read by the judge, you know, so they'll be able to kind of get a running start as to, like, what's going on in Mandalore.
Mandalore.
You know what I mean? That's say Mandalorian, Jesus.
Your brain turned to mush. Did you really mean, did you mean to say Mandalorian like you were kidding? Or you did
No,
not?
I did not mean to say Mandalorian.
What did you mean to say?
The court, these new businesses.
The mythosaur shows up in the end.
The new businesses, all those statements read by the judge from the bench are still they're out there and they're part of the record. So when Smartmatic tries to sue Fox next, that evidence will already be in there. It'll already be baked into the cake and it will already be established. They can just refer to that. It'll make their case much easier to prove on Mandalorian. Not on Mandalorian, in the courtroom, is what I meant to say.
The clanging of the armor instead of the judge.
Yes, right.
I am holding it. I have spoken.
Well, that's the first thing that's happening. But the other thing that's happening is that Dominion's, and maybe I kind of covered this, but Dominion's suing other people, but now other businesses are also suing Fox. Fox is not done with their lawsuits. They've got more coming up.
Bleed them dry. You know what? They're worth billions of dollars. These motherfuckers have profited off the so much death. It is unbelievable. Here's the dirty trick about Fox. I'm gonna look this. I'm gonna tell you guys this. Look this up. I'm not a fucking thesaurus. I don't have a Wikipedia in my brain. This is what I know from memory and stuff like that. Fox News, one, is incredibly cheap to produce. They don't have as many. They don't operate like a real news organization. Like they do have local news stations.
Right.
Stations operate a little bit more like local news does. But as a network, we're like CNN, NBC, have real news people on the ground. There's a huge budget for this. Fox doesn't really do that. It is low budget as fuck, and it's high profit. The other thing because it's not a real news network, it's bullshit. And the other thing about Fox News that I don't think people realize too is, why is Fox News? Do you ever notice basic cable package always has Fox News on it?
Yeah.
They basically
Catholic channel too.
They basically bully cable channels into putting it on there and charging them for it too. They can claim politics or oh, you're persecuting us because we're right wingers or I don't know, whatever bullshit. There's a lot of, I'm sure there's a lot of like-minded people in those cable companies, but the reality is there's a reason why Fox is on basic cable and you have to pay more to get MSNBC.
Yeah.
Premium. That's usually the second package. I think CNN too. So that's kind of been something they've been doing for years, and that they're just a shitty. I mean, they're shit.
I know a lot, and this is a common story you hear people talk about how Fox has turned an entire generation of older people pretty racist and terrible. They've whipped them up into a frenzy.
They didn't make them racist, but they definitely brought something out, and we're going to talk about that later because there's all these stories that I guess that's next, right? No, there's all these stories and stuff, right? When are we talking about that?
We're doing DeSantis next, and then these shootings.
Oh yeah, okay. So, like I said, I hope that opens the door. I hope Fox is constantly paying money forever or gets to the point that they do have to admit that they're liars. That they do have to, but and that it leads to certain shitty people getting fired. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I mean, it would have been nice to have a dramatic court case with Dominion's lawyers and everything, but I don't know. Don't put hopes in a voting machine company.
Yeah, I mean that was I too was hoping for a big courtroom scene with a spunky Marissa Tomei-like character.
You don't know you can't handle the truth.
But it's fine. Look, Fox got dinged. It was established in open court that they're just a lie machine. They had to pay a bunch of money, and now they're open to more lawsuits. And there's a blueprint of how to beat Fox. You take them to court. This is the kind of stuff you ask for in discovery.
This is the kind of shit that I've been how has this not happened already?
Yeah.
For decades. Yeah, I mean, Dr. Tiller was killed because of Bill O'Reilly saying,
oh yeah,
Dr. Killer, the baby killer, like every day for like months. And then a nut came and killed him. You tell me there's no connection?
Right.
There's no connection in that? Come on. Like,
Well,
Fox is responsible for so many like horrible events that have happened, or they've helped propagate or help. Like, even like when 9/11 happened, they like would play the same footage of the people like
oh yeah,
power all the time.
mm-hmm.
It's just like, they're just disgusting.
Yeah.
I remember watching it one time. I was stuck at like I was stuck at like a car dealership, and I was like waiting.
Mm-hmm.
I remember having it on, and I was like, dude, this is like an alternate reality.
Mm-hmm.
I was like watching it. I'm like, this is a different reality. They are crafting a whole different world for their audience who have no idea really what's going on in the world. The most misinformed audience. They're being told like the things that are the real problem is Democrats want to cut your children's genitals off, turn them into trans kids. Like, they really believe this. They want to take away the Bible. They want to, they're putting a trans person on a can of beer. Like, they push this shit all the time. It is a different version of that story. It's the same story, but it's like a little different.
A little different. Some regional variation.
Yeah. So good. I hope they get bleed them dry. I don't know. Rupert Murdoch's a piece of shit. You watch Succession, right?
Yeah, I'm only up to like the second season.
Have you heard anything about this season at all?
Yes, I have.
So you're aware?
Yeah, Logan dies, right?
Yeah, spoilers, dude.
In an airplane bathroom.
Yeah, pretty much. I think, wasn't he getting like a blowjob from that lady?
Like I said, I haven't seen it. I read a lot about it.
I think they implied it. But yeah, they were on an airplane, and they killed off Logan this season. And the thing I love about that show is that Brian Cox is playing Rupert Murdoch. He's Murdoch. That's the Murdoch family. It's a different version, but it's kind of, they run their biggest media is a right-wing news organization. What they call it, like Falcon or something. Like, I don't know.
Something like that. Yeah.
And there's just all kinds of like, it's like, wait, let me tell you, like, when I found out when Logan died, I was like, I like that horrible character. It's daring.
It was a visionary.
I'm not gonna, you're not gonna make me think that's Rupert Murdoch. Like, when Rupert Murdoch drops dead, I'm gonna be like, oh well.
Yeah. My time is short.
What?
My time is short. My time is. When you see him perish, you just kind of like flash in your life, like how short time is, but then you move on.
I'd be like, oh, another monster died. Oh well.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
Fox is real bad. It's like destroyed families.
Fox News is the product of Richard Nixon being forced to resign. The Washington Post and with Woodward, Bernstein, all that stuff, media being the thing that helped push Nixon out. What was his name? The guy who basically ran Fox until he died. He worked for Nixon. He was like his media guy.
Roger Ailes.
Yeah, Roger Ailes worked for Nixon.
Yeah.
Fox News' main goal was literally to distort news. Well, they're telling a story, but we're giving you a different perspective.
Fair and balanced.
Yeah. And it is like the furthest thing from it. Like, my favorite was years ago when it was called Hannity and Combs.
Yeah, I remember that.
Like this little weenie. He wasn't like the worst guy. I remember him being interviewed.
He's fine.
Yeah, he's fine. But like on that show, he was
emasculated.
Hannity's foil. He was a jobber at like a WWF event.
He was the Washington Generals.
Yeah, exactly. It was like, here's this little weenie in glasses, and here's Sean Hannity, the burly,
right?
Might have played football once. I don't know. The man's man.
Yes, he looks just like that.
You can tell, like, that's the story they were trying to craft. It's like, of course, Sean Hannity's right all the time. And this little weenie, little simpering weenie over there.
Yeah.
With his kind of gay ideas. Not like this manly Sean Hannity.
Right.
He's 90% chub chin.
With his fierce bow tie.
No, you're mixing him up with Tucker Carlson.
Oh, Tucker Carlson. Yeah. Jeez. God, yeah.
On Mandalorian.
In my head, I was picturing Tucker Carlson and Crossfire. That's what I was picturing in my head.
Well, that was a show on CNN. Yeah. That wasn't even on Fox.
Yeah. No, I know, but I'm just saying, like in my head, that's what I was picturing. There was a bunch of shows like that, where they would pair a liberal and a conservative.
But what with Alan Combs and
right.
That was not meant to be balanced in any way. That was supposed.
Al Franken wrote a lot about that in one of his books.
I remember that. Lying Liars. I have that book. That was a great book.
Yeah.
And I remember him talking about that and talking about how like Combs is just like made out to be like wrong.
Well, in the book too, whenever he wrote Hannity and Combs, he would write Combs in really small font.
Yep. Like Hannity and Combs.
Right. That was good. That was good.
Yeah. So fuck. I'm glad I hope that they keep getting sued. I hope maybe it just wakes up 1-2 people. I don't know. I mean, the reality is they'll just all that they could pay it, and then someone on the network or off on the radio or whatever say those evil leftists, they're trying to stop us from sharing the real news with you.
I think the bigger problem for Fox is that it's just on its way out in general, because a lot of the younger chuds just want like Discord and Twitter, and I mean they don't. Well,
yeah, I mean that's the joke. I said like Tim Pool and Alex Jones, like they're just training grounds for future Fox News viewers. Yeah. But the reality is that it probably won't be Fox News. It'll be more like Newsmax or something. Because I think like if you're being like shoved, if you're religiously watching Tim Pool, Steven Crowder, Alex Jones, or any of these people, Ben Shapiro, your brain is fucking rotted. And Fox, you probably look at Fox News and go, yeah, those are a bunch of fucking libs.
Yeah, they're corporatists, or globalists or whatever. Yep. They won't see Fox News. That's Fox's real problem, is that the only way they can recapture some of that market share is to be even more extreme. But
which is what the joke too being like, supposedly they kind of recognized the 2020 election. I think they were the first one.
They called Arizona.
It called Arizona for Biden, basically. No, I think it was Georgia, whatever race it was that basically gave Biden the win. I think it was Georgia. It was either Georgia or Arizona that was like taking forever to count.
Yeah.
And that state, once that was counted, it was official and Biden won. That's when people came out and danced the street. And the joke was Fox was one of the first ones to announce it. And then with OAN and Newsmax and all these other extreme right wing, the joke is they created like little monsters that like, like they always say like, oh, well, in a red area, like, yeah, this guy's a horrible politician, but the only way he's going to lose is in a primary, and the person he's going to lose to, it's going to be a bigger chud.
Even bigger, yeah.
And that's kind of what happened with right-wing media. So like, then they're like, well, we got to push the lie too, but they're a bigger fish, and they have more. They have to still have some standards. Like, I'm sure like Newsmax and OAN don't have to have shit.
No.
You can get away with so much more than, and that's saying a lot because Fox is not like their standard.
Right. Fox, they don't have a lot of standards, but they do have some.
Like, I don't think they have any, but that's just showing you how extreme OAN and Newsmax are, is that it's even below. It's like, the bar has been lowered, not raised. Or I guess you could say raised too, in the opposite direction.
Well,
Okay. So
I'm good.
DeSantis and Disney.
Yeah, have you been following this?
Well, I saw that speech he gave where he said, I don't know, maybe I'll have a theme park built next to Disney, or maybe we'll build a prison. And I'm like,
yeah.
And this is all because of the Don't Say Gay bill? Like, out of here.
It's real weird. The smartest thing I read about that today was some guy has said basically, like, we all know that DeSantis has no chance against Trump. Anybody.
Not at all. If Trump,
right.
If Trump said one day, I'm going to run for governor of Florida, they would all vote. They would vote DeSantis out in a heartbeat.
So, but like DeSantis's only slim chance before this kind of blew up in his face was presenting himself as the reasonable Trump. Basically Trump without the chaos. But he's blown that up over the last. He's like fighting with Disney. He's exhibited the worst elements of Trump as far as chaos and policy goes. And Trump's already the king of that field. You're not going to out Trump.
Well, but also being that you only really exist because of Trump.
Yeah.
You basically ran out the gate when he ran for governor of Florida. He literally jumped on the wall thing. And he literally said, I'm the chuddiest, I'm the Trumpiest chud here. I'm a little, vote for me. I'm a little Trump. This was back in 2018. And he kind of just stuck with it. And then with Trump being out of power, he kind of like tried to step in and be like, well, I'm going to just try to out Trump here in Florida and use this as a springboard to run for president. But Trump's still around and he's running. And the people only like you because you're like Trump, but this is a cult,
Right.
Like they don't, like if Manson leaves, they don't go to the next person. They want Manson.
Yeah. I think people would still like him, but like, for me, a better analogy would be like, if I like Coca-Cola better than Pepsi, and I'll always order Coca-Cola instead of a Pepsi. But if I go to a restaurant and all they have is Pepsi, I'll drink it. I'll be okay with it. But the minute Coca-Cola is back on the menu, I'll never get Pepsi again. And DeSantis is like Pepsi. There's
he's like Coke Zero.
There's plenty of like chuds that prefer Trump, but
that's what I was saying. If Trump, as long as Trump's in the picture, DeSantis has no chance.
Yeah, no chance. So I don't know. I mean, the other thing is that if Trump does like go to prison or something, which
DeSantis will be the one that benefits the most.
Yeah. But then even then, DeSantis has got a tricky path because Trump is so petty and mean-spirited. From prison, he'd be dictating letters about how...
that pudding cup ad they put out.
That's
stupid.
Great.
So disgusting. They made it
Trump would be
like shit brown.
Yeah. Trump would be putting out letters from prison talking about how Ron DeSantis could have stopped them from raiding Mar-a-Lago, but he didn't. He was in on it.
I'm in jail because of Ron DeSantis.
Yeah. Trump would pick some other person, some other presidential person, and say, like, you really need to vote for this other person who will pardon me when they are in office. Something like that. Yeah, right?
Audrey, Matt, great. Yeah. Little Nick Fuentes.
He would. Trump would never support DeSantis. Never.
Not this point.
So,
not this point. No. I think that, like I said, DeSantis' biggest mistake was he made that one little tiny comment about like, he would never, like, you don't have to worry about like, I don't know, paying a porn star or something. And he didn't even outright say, but it was enough. And ever since then, it's kind of like, but like, again, it's like, okay, you're going to go up to Disney. Like, and the funny thing is, like, okay, on the surface, if you said like, oh, you're going to Disney, like, cool, why? Because like you want to stop Monopoly, like they're a monopoly. It makes sense. Like,
yeah, that's the other thing is that like,
and it's like, no, it's not because of that. It's because of something stupid.
There are like a big thing he's trying to do now is send in ride inspectors, state inspectors to inspect rides. And there's so many things wrong with that. First of all, it's like a big government takeover. He's supposed to be against that.
Yeah, that's the joke. I love it. Republicans are supposed to be the anti-government, but they're always quiet and fine when it involves that. Like, what do you think making the country anti-abortion is?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's government takeover because now you got to regulate that.
Yeah. I don't know, but all these laws, Trump, DeSantis is like, we got to have inspectors inspect these rides now. We can't let them do it independently. but we're going to exempt, and he exempted every other theme park. So it's specifically
He
against
sounds
Disney.
like a
It's just
fucking
like
clown. He just sounds he's a fucking clown. Like,
that's the thing, is these are not serious people. They're not serious people,
and they're not popular. Like they're
no.
It just like, why did people vote for this guy? Like,
that's a good question. I
don't know, like Charlie Chris. Everyone's like, oh, he wasn't that great. He would have been fine.
Yeah.
Like
I don't know. I do know that like Charlie Crist's weakness was that DeSantis could say any problems currently existing I inherited from you. You know what I mean? Like
but he never really did. He never even said that. He said like he just went on the same culture war issues. So
I think Crist miscalculated, and Crist was like, you know what? I'm just going to stay positive and keep on message, and people will vote for me. And that didn't materialize. You know,
yeah.
Nikki Fried would have been like nails out, kicking him in the nuts in the gutter or something, and probably would have had a better chance in retrospect. Nikki Fried's always on his ass, like bad mouthing him, pointing out his failures, making fun of him. Nikki Fried's probably a much better opponent, or would have been a much better opponent.
Yeah.
So
I just think that it's really funny. Again, it's like if Greg Abbott just came out and started like talking shit about like, I don't know, the Jerry World or fucking Dr. Pepper. You know what I mean? Like,
it's inexplicable. That's
so bizarre. Like,
Disney's the main employer in the entire state, and now every employee of Disney knows that Ron DeSantis wants to fuck up your job.
Yeah. Also,
like, why would you
say like, oh, they have beaches in Florida? I'm like, there's beaches everywhere on the East Coast. Like, you don't have to go. You can go
and honestly,
night Myrtle Beach, you know, you could go to like there's nice beaches all around the East Coast. Like, Florida, Disney is the reason why. Like, fine, Universal and all those others, but Disney, hands down, is just the main attraction. And
that's where you go.
It's such a weird. It's like if like the governor of New York was like, I want to tell you guys two things. Fucking hate bagels.
Right.
Fucking hate pizza even more.
Yeah. Right.
The only thing I like are the rats. New York City. You know what I mean? Like some nonsense. Like, you know, it's like if the governor of Arkansas came out and said that she doesn't condone cousin fucking.
Right. Right. There's two things I hate is pig rendering and cousin fucking. You know, that's just
no offense to Arkansas, we could say that about like 12 other states.
It is. I don't know. It's inexplicable. It's real clumsy.
Like that'd be like if the governor of Alabama or Mississippi came out and said, "You know what? I actually think that Robert E. Lee was a traitorous piece of shit, and that the only true power is the Union. That was always right."
I'll tell you,
the South isn't going to rise again.
It's pretty remarkable. And this is yet to be seen, because I could be wrong here, but it seems like young people in general are their introduction to politics has just been shitty Republican ideas. Like,
they're not anything engaging. Like they hate like culture. They hate trans people. They hate gay people. They hate every new pop culture. Right. I love how they tried to claim that Super Mario Brothers was like a conservative film because it did well. So they're like, we're gonna try to claim that it was because of conservatism. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, go ahead.
No, the thing kids like these days, and I'm grossly over exaggerating, but like TikTok and Budweiser, and like that's TikTok, Budweiser, Disney products, to the Disney Channel.
So the right wing is trying
Taylor Swift. I mean, like anything kids like, the Republicans are against.
And the funny thing too is like the right wing's trying to claim like, Disney's not doing well because they'll bring up numbers from like Disney Plus, like streaming services. Like, I think this was across the board in all streaming services.
Yeah,
because the budgets were too big on shows, or they weren't getting the amount of of subscribers versus, like whatever. There's some loss, but these are all new businesses. But Disney is makes buku bucks. The fucking theme parks are packed all the fucking time.
It's crazy.
People are constantly buying Disney products of all kinds. Like
when we were at Disney last, we had to buy our tickets like and this is when we were Florida residents. We bought tickets like 6 months in advance. We had to like make reservations at rides and shit. I mean, it was a big production. Anyway, if Disney was smart, Disney for a long time has offered a Florida discount. If you live in Florida, if you have a Florida driver's license, you can go to Disney for a cheaper rate. They just revoked that and call it the Meatball Ron tax. Hey,
Meatball Ron is like Ron. Putting fingers discount.
Meatball Ron's fucked up our shit. So guess what? Now everyone in Florida has a Meatball Ron tax. It's going to cost you an extra $30 a day.
Yep.
We got to make up for all these toll roads he's put in. Oh, by the way, you're also going to have to go through a lot of toll roads.
Yeah, like, it was already impossible to get here. Guess what? He just made it like even harder. But you're going to come here anyway.
Yeah, you will. And
I love it too because like he'll build a prison nearby, and it's like it's so stupid. Like, will you? Oh, you have the zoning for that. You're going to do that. You can build a prison.
I mean, like, it's just so
stupid.
Moron.
He's such he's dumb. And again, it's like, at the end of the day, Trump has this like, his voice is grating and it's awful, but there's something about it. He's like a character, and it's he's like an adult, literally like an adult Cartman.
Yeah,
this is like this whiny, kind of talks like this. Has the same cadence as Mike Bloomberg, and like, I'm sorry, there's nothing there.
Yeah.
He just looks like a dope. He's like Trump had a 40-year media career in media.
He was good at it.
It's like guy like, does Ron DeSantis is he in the WWE Hall of Fame? No.
No.
Trump is. Did Ron DeSantis shave Vince McMahon's head in the ring? No. Trump did.
Did Ron DeSantis kiss Rudy Giuliani while he was in drag? No.
Yeah, that famous video.
Yep.
So gross.
Well, that's it. Is that every time Ron DeSantis opens his mouth, he just sounds dumber and more petty. I think honestly, if you polled Floridians, yeah.
What?
Oh, Ron DeSantis just sounds petty.
Well, the funny thing too is that he is like Trump now that like, I feel like it's not just me because I don't like Trump, whatever, but like I feel like over the past couple of years too, with everything, he's like a broken record. He's boring as shit now. Like he's completely boring. Everything's about the election and how you want, and it's the same boring things over and over. But even he is still more interesting than Ron DeSantis.
Oh,
That's how pathetic that is.
Well, all right. I guess we can move on to the. I'm surprised this hasn't happened in Florida yet. Probably will. By the time we speak next time. There's always a bunch of shootings in the U.S., obviously, but there were 3 weird ones in Texas, Missouri, and New York over the last week or so.
They all happened around like a couple of days apart. Same week, pretty much.
Yeah, they say that you do start to see upticks in these as the weather gets nicer. For sadly, people get out. They have large gatherings. They have
shooting season.
Yeah. So. In all 3 of these, a teen was shot and killed by another person. 2 of them were older adults, and one was, I guess, a kid in his 20s. But they, some of these kids were killed, some were just injured. But it was basically like a series of stand your ground incidents. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, okay. So the first one was this kid who was like. Well, he was a black kid. How old was he? Was he only like 13 or something?
I want to say he was 17.
He was picking
This is the one in Missouri.
He was picking up his younger brother to go home, I guess, right? And he went to the wrong house.
Yep.
I guess you said that he tried opening the door or something?
I mean, to be clear, I don't know what happened, but the guy, the shooter, has said that the kid was like leaning on the door and rattling it. So this kid, the kid
that's probably a fucking outright lie. So
well, the kid's 5'8", 140 pounds. His name is Ralph Yarl, and he was 16 years old.
He's alive still, right? He's like badly hurt.
Yes, yeah. But if you look at him, and this is like a shitty thing to say, I suppose, but like he just looks like a good kid. You know, he doesn't have.
He was literally just picking up his kid brother. He went to the wrong house. The guy.
he looks. The kid looks like a good kid. He like not the look. There's nothing wrong with having facial tattoos. Nothing wrong with having earrings or whatever. But like he doesn't present like that. He presents like, oh, this kid looks like he's probably on the honor roll. Yeah.
So he doesn't have a Dr. Murder tattoo.
Right. It's hard to say. It's hard to like talk about this without sounding shitty, but like he looks okay, like
I got you. Oh, really, Joseph? Keep going on.
Right. You remember Prison Mike from
a shovel and a hole. Let's get going. No, so this kid knocks on the door. He's going to pick up his brother, and this old man, I guess, instead of like going like, you have the wrong house,
right?
Or like, fine, if you want to be a real paranoid psycho, like, leave. I have a gun, and I'm not afraid to use it, and then that ends there. Or he could just say, no, I think you have the wrong house. What address are you looking for? And he could be like, I'm looking for 526, and the guy could be like, oh, sorry, this is 562. You got it wrong.
Right. That's your error.
Oh, thank you, sir. All right, have a good night. Sorry to bother you. And then he go, no problem. I'm just a normal man.
Right. I'm just an innocent man.
85-year-old man with 30 years of Fox News brain rot.
Oh, God,
that's going to pull out a gun and shoot you immediately. Like, you see this guy's face, too. They showed him in, like, his photo. He looks like your typical Fox News viewer.
He does.
So that's one story of a paranoid lunatic shooting somebody. All right. The next one is, like, even crazier. It's a teenage girl. New York.
Oh, which one are you talking about? The New York or Texas?
Sorry. The New York one happened first.
Yep, okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Or second.
I believe so, yeah.
And the girl was like, what, in high school or something? Or she was like 20?
They were young. They look like they're in high school. I don't know if
the girl that was killed.
Yeah.
In New York.
She looks like a high schooler, but she could be 20.
She
I don't
literally just backed her car up a bit into a driveway to kind of like, I don't know, make a U-turn or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Which, is kind of normal. It happens.
Oh, yeah. I do it, yeah.
Don't go into their driveway. I usually just go up the drive part and then turn around. I guess this guy that lived there just fucking killed her. He pulled out a gun and shot her, which is insane.
She was 20 years old. I just saw that. 20 years old.
This guy was not 85. I think this guy's like in his 50s or whatever.
I think he was 65. I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Well, that's still younger than 85.
No, 60. Like,
again, this guy clearly was sitting there waiting with his gun for someone to show up. Because I asked you, I'm like, was she in their driveway for like a long time? Or like,
no.
I'm not even, and that's not a rational thing to shoot someone. Even if they're sitting in your driveway, you could just be like, sir or madam, what are you doing here? Please leave. This is my house. I would prefer you not here. And if they give you a hard time, then you could be like, well, I'm going to call cops or I'm going to pull out my gun or whatever, if you have one of those. And instead, this guy, I don't know, from what you said, it's like she literally was just like backing in to turn around, and he shot her and killed her through the car window.
Yes. Yeah.
It's insane. That's fucking insane.
Yeah. This one to me, I mean, look, they're all terrible. And I think they all have a common reason behind them. But this one to me is like so egregious. The first one, which I still think was wrong, some 85-year-old dude shoots a kid that's like, I guess, on his front door. I'm like, look, that's still wrong. There
was a story years ago that, and again, thanks to Fox News propagating this, some fucking old ass white dude shot some guy, went to someone's house, his neighbor, And I don't know if he wasn't robbing the place or anything, or even soliciting. I don't even know what the full deal was. But the neighbor comes out with a gun and literally kills the guy.
Yeah.
Fox News turned him into like a fucking hero. And the guy, there was no reason to kill that guy. There was no reason at all. The guy wasn't breaking in the house. And if he was, you call the cops.
Yeah. It is weird.
Or maybe you just shoot a bullet up in the air and say, get the fuck out of here.
But none of this would have happened. I guess this is my point, because like intellectually, I'm like, okay, some 85-year-old dude shoots a kid that was on his front door. I could see instances where it's like, okay, that tracks as like being a horrible accident. Maybe the guy's been broken into a bunch, or who knows, whatever. The 65-year-old up in New York seems so egregiously wrong, but neither of these, and that third incident we'll talk about in a second, none of these would have happened if the towns weren't flooded with guns and the laws were loose, and all these people, I'm sure the person in Texas, the shooter in Texas, the shooter in Missouri, and the shooter in New York, all of them were probably thinking, no, I can't go to jail for this. This is perfectly legal. The laws protect me.
My ground. New York doesn't have standing ground laws.
But like, I don't know, maybe he doesn't know that or whatever. But like, all of them.
Well, anyone that shoots somebody who's backing into your curb is not a rational person.
Yeah, I mean that you'd probably go to jail for that in Texas even. But like
Kyle Rittenhouse.
Yeah. Well, that's another thing is they look at these court cases, look at Kyle Rittenhouse, look at all these Fox people. There's just a montage at the NRA convention, which was a
Facebook, whatever bullshit they're getting their bullshit from.
Every single Republican got up there and talked about how we'll never take your guns. You need your guns.
Yeah,
your guns
and you bought your guns as an investment, so at some point you're going to want to fucking use it.
Yeah,
and here's your chance to use it now. You're what's that guy's name? That the again, he was just some racist asshole in New York, and they
Bernard Getz.
Yeah, Bernard Getz. Yeah. They turned him into like some fucking Dirty Harry character or something.
They did. He was like an original. He was like a 1chan. He was in on that before.
1chan. 0chan.
He was on the Chan BBS. He
started here.
Right. Who you gets Chan.
So then the third shooting, what just happened recently in Texas.
Yes.
It was you said it was like a traveling cheerleading team or whatever?
Yeah, this is another one that's like a little weird. It was
and this girl's in high school, right?
I believe so, yeah. And she thought she was getting into her own car, but it wasn't her own car. It was someone else's car. And I think they got out of the car after she realized the error she made. She got out and tried to leave. And the person in the car also got out of the car and shot her.
You know how many times I've done that? Now, my car is neon green with tribal tattoos and characters from ICP just blazing all over it. And I always mix it up with other cars. I'm like, I always open the wrong door. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. I thought this was my car. And
Colorado is flooded with Pontiac Aztecs.
What?
Colorado must be flooded with Pontiac Aztecs. Very popular car out there.
Yeah, and there's lots of like, and I was wrong. That wasn't ICP. That was the band. That was the group Twisted. And I say whoop whoop, and I apologize, and I leave.
Right. Yeah.
Now I have like a gray, like small SUV crossover. Whatever the fuck they call them. I don't know.
Yeah.
Tucson, and everyone in the world has this fucking car or a version of this car.
Yes.
This dark gray. Like I used to have a black Tucson, and I was like, every car here is a black SUV. And then we got rid of it and we bought the gray Tucson, thinking that like, oh, at least our car still got. No, out of nowhere, I guess everyone decided to get a black car and change it to a gray Tucson. So I have literally like, and everything, like they don't look that much different. And they don't look that much different. It's like very subtle. I've gone to cars by accident so many times. Try opening the handle, and then I go, and then I look in at them, and I stare into their souls, and I say, I am so sorry. And I grit my teeth. I do I say, is Carol Ann around?
Right.
That guy from Poltergeist 2.
Yeah, right.
Everyone loves that impression. They're like, "Oh, I remember that."
So easily recognizable.
Easily recognizable, right?
Well, I would say,
ever happens. People are totally chill. Then I just go off my merry way.
Well, I've thought
that's not what happened.
No, this was a sad one. Although this one seems more like because I think the shooter was in his 20s. He was much younger. He got out of the car. It seemed more like a hothead type of thing. Like if I'm lining these up as far as like crimes to be prosecuted goes, I think the New York guy, well, the Texas kid's probably the most easily prosecuted because it didn't happen on his property.
Car, you said we talked about this beforehand, and he said,
"Yeah,
went to the car, realized it wasn't her car, got out of it, and the guy was walking by, I guess, and saw her, and then like started hunting her down."
I think the guy was in the car and got out of the car and like walked a few steps to her and shot.
That's insane.
And again, this is the girls reporting, so I don't really know the full extent of what all
regardless
happened.
It was probably literally just like, "Oh, I'm sorry, sir."
Yeah. Well, again, this is another thing to say that doesn't sound, that's hard to say without sounding shitty, but she was like a young pretty girl and the shooter was like a younger guy. It's not like a bodybuilder type dude gets in your car aggressively. I mean, she looked like a bubbly cheerleader. She just didn't like strike me as
those are always the biggest psychopaths.
Well, you know what I mean, like it just seems like yeah, again, I don't know. I mean, like I know that I'm kind of like bringing like a lot of baggage into that, but
be aggressive, they stab you
right. But I don't know. I mean, like
dynamite, and dynamite goes boom. You got this. Whatever.
I was just honestly, because all three people were arrested or in the process of being arrested or
all variations of the same chud.
Yeah, but like how, like, okay, the Missouri guy or the New York doesn't have a stand your ground law, but let's take the Missouri guy, for instance. Based on my understanding, how is he going to be found guilty? How did they arrest him? Like, if some kid is like, it just seems like maybe like stand your ground laws don't work like I thought.
The kid was not in his house.
I don't ever recall them saying like that you have to be in the house. Like that was the whole thing.
The fuck knows. There's some murder I saw not from like a year ago.
Yeah,
where the guy shot and killed like a 13-year-old black kid, and he's still has never been like properly arrested.
Yeah, it's just weird. Like Florida's law, because I remember reading a lot about it. This is even before Meatball Ron got involved. It was like an older law. Like one of the big deals they made about is that it used to be that you had an obligation to retreat. Like if it was possible to extricate yourself from the situation, you had an obligation to do so. And the new laws say, no, you don't have to do shit. All you got to do is like aim and pull the trigger. You don't have to retreat. You don't have to, if there's a potential way to be safe.
Well, that's the Trayvon Martin thing. I mean,
yeah, right.
I mean, I don't know. The stand your ground rule was already in place, and what's his name? Zimmerman? Is that his name?
Yeah, Zimmerman.
He abused it and killed the kid.
I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, these are just crazy. And again, they're just going to keep happening. And, and this is on top of all the other insanity that we have going on in the country with there's mass shootings all the time. And like, there's 5, 10 people, 4 people, 2 people, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's a constant barrage of mass killings. And now, like, you're getting like where you can't even back into a driveway in a neighborhood without getting shot by a psychopath
in New York.
Like, or you make like the fact that like people are so fucking hot-headed that they would kill you or try to kill you with their gun for making a mistake, an honest mistake. Because cars look so much alike these days.
Well,
newer models and stuff.
The problem is I think that's why it's dangerous to talk about the specifics in any of these, is because the real problem is it's a gun problem.
It is. It's a fucking gun problem. There's too many of them.
Yeah.
It's
right. And people are going open carry, and like
Ron DeSantis just sneaked in an open carry bill into Florida, making it another state that. And the thing is, like, you know, people who spend a lot of money on these guns, they want to use it at some point.
Yeah, they a lot of them. If you're an open carry weirdo, if you're walking into Starbucks with a M16 rifle strapped to your back, you're looking for a chance to use it. You know, you probably go home and beat off to falling down. Like
certain parts, not the end game, of course. That's right before he kills a Nazi, when you think he's just gonna be friends with the Nazi.
So I don't know. I mean, like, well, whatever.
The Nazi edit falling down. Like, I mean, the reality is, like, there's so many of these fucking guns out there. Everyone can get them. You know, it's like when you buy an air fryer, what are you buying it for?
Right.
Use it to cook food. If you buy like a toaster, what are you doing? You get into cook things.
It's like if you're going to buy a sports car, you're going to rev your engine at some point.
Yeah. You know? Vroom, vroom. You paid for that much. You pay for the vroom, vrooms. They're going to want to use them. You know, it's like Paul and Crow with his Nazi memorabilia.
Yeah. He hates
them. Don't buy guns because you hate them. Don't buy Hitler a signed copy of Mein Kampf because you hate him.
Well, this is kind of like a weird transition, but the McCurtain County stuff is also kind of gun related. I guess it's like a peripheral gun relation. The basic story, and you had heard about this already, but I had heard about it a little after, and I texted you and asked if you'd heard it. The basic story is this reporter got the feeling that the city council was meeting in secret after the open meeting, which is illegal almost everywhere. You got to have your meetings out in the open. They got to be recorded. You can't have secret meetings. Theoretically, theoretically, two council members can't even meet like at Starbucks without telling people. I mean, there's like protocols or whatever.
Yeah.
So this guy, the reporter, does like a really baller move, in my opinion, and he brings in his tape recorder and he like leaves it behind in the chamber, and he's like, I'm going to just record what happens after I leave. And sure enough, they have a meeting after everyone leaves, and the reporter gets it on tape. But as he's listening to the tape, what he realizes is everyone who is in that secret meeting is a horrible monster. And they're talking about lynching people and where they would bury.
They were all cops. They weren't all cops.
No, there was one of them was like a city council member. One of them was like the sheriff. One of them there was a mix of people.
They all sound like generic hillbillies. It's hysterical.
They sound like the bad guys in a 70s movie, about small town corruption or whatever. They sound like garbage. Like, these are the people. Like, look, if I were a person of color and I lived in McCurtain, Oklahoma, and I was ever arrested for anything, I'd be on the phone with an attorney today. And being like,
this council reveals how fucking incredibly racist they are.
Yeah.
They are evidence. They're trying to aren't they trying to press charges against that guy or sue him or something?
The sheriff said the real problem here is that I was recorded in secret, and that's a felony. And we're looking at ways to arrest this guy. And Brian Stitt is the governor of Oklahoma, and he's a real shithead. He's terrible. But he has on occasion tried to not suck with varying degrees
no
of
one's
success.
paying attention.
Well, Stitt came out and in fairness and said these people need to resign, X, Y, and Z. But really what should have happened is Stitt should have come out and said, recording I'm pardoning him. I'm preemptively pardoning the journalist for doing whatever wrong.
That'll never happen. He's not going to pardon that journalist. That'll never happen.
Anyway, the journalist sent the tapes to the FBI, and the FBI is looking at it. So we'll see. This is such a weird, fucked up story. This shit.
Yeah, you gotta. If anyone's listening, I could play some of it. It is just like
It's
just,
ghoulish.
it's like, it sounds like a Klan meeting from like
it really
40
does.
years ago. I mean, not shocked by any of this. I'm not. Nothing shocks me like this. I mean, I think it's just like the fact that they're doing something illegal where they're having the real meeting behind closed doors, and what their like you just said, if you were a black person or any ethnic or anything, LGBT, whatever, and you were arrested recently, and any of those people like involved with like your case in any way, yeah, get a fucking lawyer, because there's a good
100%.
chance that these fucking people have quite the bias against you, and trust me, they do.
Well, if you looked at their Facebook page, the sheriff's Facebook page is still up. It's littered. When they arrest someone, they snap a photo of the person and put it up on Facebook. It's disgusting.
Like it's fucking, like as if it's like a stuffed head on a wall.
Yeah. And this is a small town, and all the locals are like, got another one off the streets. Good job, sheriff. Like awful people. That's one where the federal government should go to Oklahoma and say, look, you need to clean house, or we're coming in and taking over that town. They can't govern themselves. It's a corrupt enterprise, that town or county or whatever it is. It's amazing. It really is. It's just stunning that they were caught on tape with that. So
yeah, it's bullshit.
Yeah, it is. It is.
I think that's I think they should do that more often. Leave a tape player behind. That's something. It's like so fucked up. Like the guy leaving the tape behind and thinking like, we'll see if anything happens. He had to have like known how racist these motherfuckers were. He left it behind, and like you listen to that tape, and it's just like just fucking ghouls like being exposed.
I would love to have been there when the reporter first listened to the tape. I don't know if he would have been like truly terrified, because they were talking about killing that reporter and burying his body somewhere, or if he would have like sprung the most massive journalist boner in history because he got like this amazing story like on tape. It's just crazy. And like I said, you wonder, like, what you're telling me, there aren't towns like this in Missouri or Georgia or upstate New York or Eastern Island, Oregon. Yeah, I mean,
parts of Colorado, parts of anywhere. I mean, like anywhere, Texas.
Well,
Texas.
I remember in Florida before, in East Texas, Central Texas, West Texas, South Texas, Northwest Texas,
Northeast, around the corner.
Right.
What was it? That where the TTP wanted to have it. What was that center? They
did like a paintball. It was a paintball place or something.
No, but they wanted to do it on their what do they call it?
The community center. Yeah.
Yeah, the community center. The one that, what is it again? The fee you pay?
It's the HOA. Yeah.
Yeah. Fucking HOA community center. Like they're trying to have like a fucking Klan meeting at. I mean, like
in Florida, they started doing shit like this where they would make it illegal to film ranches because there's tons of animal abuse going on there, and they're like, we fix this, make it illegal to film there. And that's what a lot of these states or counties or cities are doing. It's just, well, now it's illegal for you to film. Now it's illegal for you to record.
This was a story from years ago. My father-in-law was at this was like at a lodge or whatever. Mm-hmm. This was like after hours or whatever. He was like cleaning up, and like the lodge members were there, and they were all saluting Hitler.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. I mean, I'm at like literally pretty much like saluting Hitler. Yeah. And these were like, you would never know. I mean, well, whatever. It's just like
fucking stonemasons.
The fucking from The Simpsons.
Yes.
We make Steve Guttenberg a star. We do. We do.
Yeah, the stonemasons. No, I think that's the real thing to me, is that one, this shit probably happens all the time, and two, we have amazing technology now. People should be able to secretly record. You don't even have to announce who did it. Just start secretly recording shit like this and put it up on the internet. People will find it. I mean, like if you were,
I mean, fuck those people. And again, it's like the same thing with like Fox News. This shit should be the kind of shit that makes some people quake in their boots, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, but if I was in right wing media and everything like that, and I saw what happened to Fox News, I mean, I'd probably still keep doing what they're doing, but you know that's got to be in the back of their mind. Like look at like Tim Pool. That guy's like owns like a compound. He's rich as fuck, and all he does is lie and spread like propaganda.
Well,
at some point, someone's going to come after him.
He's smart to some extent in that he's less likely to target individual people. But if I'm what's the guy saying? Matt Walsh will more likely target target into specific people. If I'm a specific person being targeted, like that woman who's in the Bud Light thing, I'm suing these people. You're bringing harm to my door.
Yeah.
Did you sue them and see what happens? And honestly,
we'll talk about that later.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. So, we just got a few things to kind of wrap
Diane
up.
Feinstein.
Yeah, this is a sad one.
I mean, I never liked this lady. I always thought I think she's like a shitty Democrat, like like a safe blue state, but she's a neolib. Like she literally is like, I mean, like I hate that term. I hate when people abuse it. And call anyone they don't like a neolib. Anyone that isn't like whatever they want to push is a neolib. But like she literally is one. Like
no, that's true.
And you know, she was like a fucking war hawk in Iraq war, and her husband's like a war profiteer. She sucks. She's always kind of sucked. And like the Amy Coney Barrett hearing, she was awful. She like hugged fucking what's his face, that asshole from Lindsey Graham. Like, so I guess you know they're trying to get in as many judges. If we only have 4 years and Biden's got just a couple more years to get as many fucking judges in as possible, and we, you know, Democrats only have they have like what, a 1-seat majority,
right?
With adding what's his face, the guy from Pennsylvania,
Fetterman.
Yeah. So Diane Feinstein, I guess, is one. They've been talking about this for years, that she's basically like a dementia. Like she clearly suffers dementia.
Yeah.
She's like hardly there. She's always sick. She's had like shingles and she's not doing well. She needs to fucking retire. And I think the reality is this isn't some like, oh, it's up to her. No, she's supposed to represent the entire state of California and the fucking country and her party. And she's holding up important, like, getting judges
business.
Like she's fucking up Biden. She's hurting the future of the country. Because the reality is, I'm sorry, I know the chuds will be like, you want your people in. No, I want people in that are gonna like, you know, vote in cases that like maybe are for the environment, that are for labor, that are for like.
Well, California's shifted dramatically to the left. She doesn't really represent California anymore.
No, I mean, like there's like an embarrassing video of her getting into a fight with like a bunch of 8-year-olds. I don't know if you saw that a couple of years ago. It's really funny, but like sad. She's just like, she sucks. She's always been kind of like I don't know if I'd say center right, but she's definitely the centrist in like the worst way possible. But the reality is that she's just not there anymore. And I think the reality is it's not, oh, it's up to her. The people, the corporations, whatever that finance her, they want to make sure that because anyone that takes her over her spot is just going to be more progressive. That's a reality. That's the truth. Like Barbara Lee.
Well, the governor's already said he has like a short list of, I think, 4 black women that he's considering.
People are like, why does he have to say that? And I'm like, I mean, it is kind of corny. Just do it. You don't have to say like, you know, but at the same time, okay, like,
well, good. I think it's important to like, I agree with you. It comes off as kind of weird, but
like when Biden would say like, I'm going to put a black woman in the Supreme Court, and he did.
But I also think
but like, it was just.
But if we say like representation matters, and we say that like stuff like that's important, then
I have no issue with personally. I don't even like.
Whatever. Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
Right wingers are going to attack you no matter what
right.
he would say. They just are. He can say nothing, and they'll say, "Oh, we know he's going to put a black woman. We just know."
Right.
Like, it doesn't matter. You can't be right or wrong. Like, it's like that's like I remember during the election, the 2020 election when Buttigieg was running, and he said, "We can be the most conservative Democrat, and the Republicans will say that we're communists." Like, we should not play to their rules. Like, we have to put, like, I thought that was actually very progressive what he said. And like, if you don't like Buttigieg, you can extrapolate that he's 100% right here. And that's how we, that's why I was sick and tired of like any of these like weak meat Democrats who always like meet in the middle to like psychopaths. And it's like, no, that's not how it works. Like, they're gonna say you're communist no matter what. Like, so I think the reality is that the people that finance her, the interests that she represents, do not want her to resign because the person that will take over will not be as friendly as her to their to those interests. I think that's just a fact. I think she represents like an old, like just. I think the party is shifting further to the left. Hopefully, I think.
Well, certainly in California.
Yeah, and in a good way, and we just, I don't know. I wish she'd fucking resign. And it's creating a mess. And what they did, like the Republicans already said they're going to put like a stop to. They're going to she's on an important position too. She's like in the. What is she? She's part of the jury. That what they call that?
The Judiciary Committee.
Yeah, and they're trying to block any replacement because I guess the thing is they could, in theory, they could just put someone else in that position.
I think so. I think they could take away her committeeship and put a new person on.
And I guess the Republicans can block it.
I don't. I know less about that than I should. I know that there's something procedurally that until Feinstein agrees to step aside in some capacity, the Republicans are kind of in the driver's seat here.
They're like, I love it. They're playing like concern. They're concern trolling. Like, they should force her out. I'm like, are you? Like, that just shows you how much Feinstein sucks. They're like coming out of
they're defending her.
They know that she's useless and. That's an important seat, and of course they're gonna like try to muddy the waters and
hopefully there will be some resolution soon. I don't know if like Biden can pull her aside and say, it's time or whatever. Or look, I mean, it's entirely possible she passes away. Like a Ruth Ginsburg situation.
Yeah, but that's the other problem too. It's like, people like with RGB, it was like, you need to resign. This is the time to do it. I'm not going to do it under Obama. And it's just like, like what's his face tried pulling that shit, and he did resign, thankfully. That one Supreme Court justice. It took a year, but he did do it at least, and we have a new judge in there who's not has cancer. Know, so. Good on him for fucking stepping up and like not pulling what she did. But what Ruth Bader Ginsburg did was shit. She should have resigned in Obama's first term or second term. And it's gross. Like, I mean, listen, I don't know if it was out of maliciousness or whatever, but she should have resigned and we would not be in as much of a situation. Because I think even with a 5-4 court, it would not be as bad because you could push Roberts a little bit in some positions.
It would be fine. A 5-4 court would have been doable, but now you get now you're not even because you're going to lose Alito and Thomas right away. So now you're fighting like you got to like you got to hit every argument to get something past this court.
Thomas is completely corrupt.
Jeez, that's the thing is that they not only can't they appoint new judges as effectively, but they can't subpoena Thomas or like issue some statement to him. It's
insane. So this fucking guy, it came out. We talked about this last week, but since then it came out that Paul and Crow like bought Thomas's mother's house for him or something.
Yeah.
And
it's been like letting her live there for free. And it's just.
Then like Thomas was claiming that Ginny Thomas didn't work when she clearly was working for that whatever Republican PAC.
And he failed to report a ton of income he's been getting
like $600,000.
Yeah, from a real estate firm that like stopped existing 10 years ago. I mean, it's the whole thing.
Yeah, it was like something crazy, and it didn't even exist. Like it stopped existing like 2006 or something.
Yeah,
like real corrupt shit, and it's just like nothing will ever happen. This guy is a monster. Like, so yeah, Feinstein needs to fucking resign. I'm sorry. You know, it was like funny. I saw something where like they interviewed Pelosi, and she said something, and she was mostly like polite about it and everything. Said like, oh, it needs to be like left her, big man her. Like, what do you think Pelosi's gonna say? Yeah, that bitch needs to go away. Like, she sucks. Like, of course she's gonna like. Are you shocked? I'm not shocked that Pelosi would be like respectful to her and say it needs to be her decision. Like,
right.
That's
what do you think
that's she's to be expected. Say? Move out of the way, bitch. Like, hey, oldie.
Right.
I know you're not going to remember what I said to you 2 seconds ago.
Yeah.
He has like severe dementia. Which is not funny.
No, it's sad. The whole thing's sad. But you would think that she has a staff that's devoted to, if not progressive ideals, at least democratic ideals.
I just think that I think she represents an old guard in the Democratic Party that like blue dog. I don't know if she's like blue dog, but kind of
might as well be.
Just more corporate friendly. That's probably the best way to express it. And like middle of the road bullshit. Anyone that's gonna take her place is just gonna be more trouble for the special interests that back her. I just think that's the reality.
Yeah.
Unless they, find some young asshole who's like a complete, which I could see that happening.
Yeah.
But like you said here. What?
No, I could see that.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens on that. But yeah, it is like an important thing. Regardless, to be respectful to this woman who's been around for like 1,000 years now. I don't even think it's up to her anymore. I think it's like whoever's like running the ship. It's like, who knows? Maybe they're getting fucking paid off by the fucking GOP. Yeah. Well, your inheritance isn't big enough. Kids of the Feinstein, we got your back. Keep her in there for another 2 more years.
Well, if she is cognitively impaired, then some of it doesn't even need to be logical. Yeah. I mean, some of it could just be her being contrary or ornery or whatever, bullshit.
Like I said, she has the staff and everything. I don't think it's like.
That's what I keep going to is like the staff should help her make this decision. And I mean, like, as distasteful as it sounds, the Democratic Party needs to tell the staff, like, look, I know there's like 30 of you employed because she's a senator, but we'll take care of you. We have jobs lined up for you in other offices in the party, and like we can make this happen. I mean, so I don't know. I know that's a gross way of putting it, but
do they have to tell her that she resigned?
What now?
I'm making a joke. Like they resigned. Like, do they have to tell her?
They just build a little office or something like.
Am I still mayor? She's like the old lady from. She's the old lady from Christmas Vacation.
Right. When did they move the Senate to Modesto? Oh, it's been.
She packs the cat in a Christmas function.
Yeah.
Cat food in the Jello mold.
All right. On
Eddie likes it. That's all that matters.
Less funny news.
That's hysterical.
The Supreme Court
holding up an important.
The Supreme Court, and this is abortion related. The Supreme Court put a stay on the Fifth Circuit's order regarding the access to how do you say that? It's the abortion pill. It's mifepristone.
Okay.
Mifepristone. So mifepristone is still legal for another, I don't know, like 48 hours or so. And at that point, the Supreme Court, I guess, has to make a decision. Can some wacko judge in Texas overturn the FDA's decision as to the safety of a drug? I honestly have no idea how this is going to go.
Yeah.
It's really I don't know. I mean, like it's to
so
the point.
They put a stay on it, meaning like it's fine for like the next couple of days.
Yes.
The Supreme Court did that.
Yes. Yeah. And actually, I think it was Alito did it. But that doesn't mean anything.
Probably waiting until Friday to put it through and cancel it. That's kind of what they did with they did. It was like a Friday when they made
they did. I think this is a tough one because they made, and this was just like 3 months ago, made such a big deal, and all the Republicans did too. We're not outlawing abortion. We're just letting the states make their own decisions. Yep. And if you want to stay, and
you can believe everything they say. They never lie.
They all coalesced around that, and no one with a brain cell believed that. But then to 2 months later say, oh no, now Texas can choose to outlaw abortion everywhere, because like that's a pretty big way to get abortion. How
do they outlaw it everywhere in like New York?
Because you would make it illegal to it would lose its FDA approval, okay, and then you couldn't mail it anywhere.
I heard California did something, like there was something about that California does, and it's great because what it does is it ends up forcing the whole entire nation, because like trucks have to go through there. Like it's such a massive state, and it's like the economy is so huge that any kind of decision that they make sometimes can like just affect the entire country as a whole. And there was something, I don't know if it had something to do with abortion or something. Oh no, I think it had something to do with like electric cars or whatever. It said like, or emissions, and it said like, California have to have like a certain amount of emissions in like the next couple of years, and like that basically just changes the entire country.
Well, that's true, because you're not going to manufacture a car that can't be sold in California.
Exactly.
That's how Texas and Florida fuck up the school books market.
Yeah.
Like Texas will say, well, we're not buying school books if you mention Jackie Robinson. And all of a sudden, like in Maryland, you can't learn about Jackie Robinson because Maryland only buys like a fraction of the textbooks. Texas orders all the textbooks, and the textbook makers, cave to Texas.
I thought all the textbook makers were in Texas. That was the other problem.
I don't know.
I heard that years ago. I know textbook makers were in Texas, actually.
A couple of them used to be in Orlando. So surprisingly, Harcourt, Brace, and Jovanovich were there. There are a couple. I don't know where they're located.
So but this abortion pill thing. The thing is, I think we talked about this last week too. That this is the problem the Republicans have, where they play to the groups, the religious zealots, the groups, whatever. Like, oh, we're gonna get rid of abortion. We're gonna save the babies. And this bullshit, leaving out all the important details of how important it is to allow women to regulate their reproductive organs, because the fact that like, oh, what was that, episcopal or whatever it was, pregnancy is now
ectopic,
which is like, there's no baby here. It's literally like I have like a lump that needs to be removed, like
it's a tumor.
They're like, no, that's an abortion. And it's like, what? Like,
well,
so I don't know what I was gonna say about this.
They're just pushing forth these incredibly unpopular laws, and I see how some wacko psycho judge in West Texas who hangs around nothing but his own church group and golfing buddies
meetings. Hopefully no one leaves a phone recording it.
He probably goes home and thinks, what, the majority of Americans agree with me.
Oh, and of course, they're the hero of their own story. Or so, they don't give a shit.
Honestly, if the Supreme Court were to, I don't know, make it so that it is illegal to get this pill, I don't know what would happen, to be honest. I mean, like, I don't know. I mean,
I said that the thing about the Republicans, though, is they had this fine line to think that they are stepping over the pharmaceutical companies that most of Republicans are completely in bed with. And that's a major problem. And that's why I said this, I think I said this last week, that the pharmaceutical companies are like, hey, listen, we put you in here to make us tons of money with as little regulation as possible. And we know you got to do your little religious bullshit dance to get the rubes and whatever culture war you got to get rubes to vote against their combination.
You got to dance around with your snakes and drink some turpentine.
Yeah, whatever you got to do, we don't care. As long as you let us make all the fucking drugs in the world and sell them at ridiculous prices, no regulations. And an abortion pill is a pill that they were selling, I guess, nationwide, right?
Yeah, I mean, it used to be that you could get it anywhere, mail order it anywhere, and then
so you're stepping on business. Business is trying to be, again, it's just like that fine line. It's like why Ted Cruz will say everything in the world, except say that guns are a problem. Like he'll say everything. He'll say everything, but he's completely in bed with the gun gun industry, and probably pharmaceutical industry as well. So it's like this weird, it's like a judge who is voted in or put in in a lifetime position. He doesn't give a fuck about what the pharmaceutical company. He's going to push his right-wing agenda. And I just think like some Republican politicians are fucked because of this, which is good because it puts them in a predicament. Because the reality is, in the end of the day, all these clowns really just serve big business, deregulating everything, high profits, no regulations, let's make whatever the fuck we want.
Yeah.
What's the acceptable amount of lead to put in this? In cough medicine.
Yeah. You saw that thing I sent you the other day. They're building roads in Florida out of radioactive waste.
Yeah, what the fuck is that?
There's when they do this mining, I forget the name of it, but it's a certain type of mineral or element they pull out of lakes or whatever. And I guess there's like a lot of hazardous radioactive junk left over after they do it. They want to use that to build roads.
How is that safe?
It's not. That's it. It's not.
Well, going back real quick to that Palestine thing. I think did we talk about this? Like how the vehicle that was transporting a lot of the like polluted dirt crashed or something.
We talked about that last week.
Okay.
The
abortion pill is just going to be an interesting little dance at the right-wing Supreme Court that's really just owned by corporate interests. It's going to be an interesting one. I just don't think, I don't know. We'll see. I think they just keep overstepping and eventually they step on their own feet and shit because it's like DeSantis with Disney. It's like, what are you doing, man? Like I said, break up these corporate monopolies, break them up. That's great. Oh, wait, that's not why you're doing it. It's because of like some culture war bullshit
and he's only doing it to that one monopoly, which is probably not like the worst monopoly out there.
One of the worst. But the fact is that you're specifically targeting one. Like, who's to say Disney?
You think Disney's one of the worst monopolies?
I mean, they're pretty aggressive. Well, no, okay. Like, in what comparison to like
Smith and Wesson? Like,
no. I mean, I'm talking about from the meat.
I know.
Halliburton.
BlackRock.
Dow Chemical, they killed like a whole village or something in India years ago.
Yeah, Bhopal.
Like a whole city, I guess. They're just, they're aggressive and they're whatever. I mean, we know they own everything. I mean, it's like, but it's just funny that he would specifically target him. It'd be kind of funny if they sue him at some point.
Yeah, that would be really good.
Could they sue him if they wanted to?
I don't know why they can't, because I look, I'm not a lawyer, but I do know there's this thing called a bill of attainder or bill of attainder or something. And basically the premise is you can't make a law to target a person or a company. Like I can't make up a law designed specifically to punish one company or to make something illegal. like if you're flying a Trump flag in your front yard, I can go make a law that regulates what height flag can be flown and this, that, and whatever, but I can't make a law about your home. I can't say like on Everett Street, odd numbered houses can't fly Trump flags. You know what I mean? Like that's called a bill of attainder. So I don't know why Disney can't do that. I do know Disney's got probably much better lawyers than Meatball Ron.
I just think it's interesting because it's like he's just specifically targeting them and like making threats of opening a prison next to Disney. It's like
weird.
So
is that going to help Florida for Disney to do poorly? Like,
because that's what people want. They want a fucking prison. You know, people love having prisons in their neighborhoods. So stupid. What a dumb.
It's not even like Disney is doing anything other than saying like, hey, if you're gay, we wish you well. Like that's it. That's like they're
they have they have that for years. They've always had like LGBT days and stuff like that.
Well, that's been unofficial. Those have been,
but they've
been only recently. Now they do it officially, but it's only recent that it's.
But they've been doing it for decades.
And I accidentally went to Disney on a gay Pride Day, and it was like very
evident.
Yes, and I was much younger. I wasn't like as sophisticated as I am now.
Everyone looked like Richard Simmons.
It was just overwhelming. It was like a big boy. So it was a lot of fun. But it was like, wow, this is overwhelming. And at the time,
I can't believe that gay people love Disney.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. You know who I can't believe is this Bud Light guy in Topeka, Kansas.
Speaking of someone who probably would be very angry about a gay day, so some fucking loser in I guess at a Walmart, big Kansas, is a video right now. He was just destroying the entire beer section. The kind of funny thing, it was just destroying like Busch Light or something, not even Bud Light.
Yeah.
And he was throwing cans. He was like incredibly violent. It wasn't even just like, oh, I'm going to destroy this whole area, but he was chucking cans at people. Like this guy lost it. He eventually got arrested. And I was just like, I'm watching this video. I'm like, this guy's like, what a fucking loser. And it's all because of this Bud Light stuff. Because of this Bud Light. And he's like, then it came out that I guess, was it the same day or there was an old where he was arrested for exposing himself?
Okay, so the guy's name is J. Dustin D. Kane, 44 years old. A first initial, a middle name, a second initial, and a last name. Let's see. He led away. He was also charged with, on the same day, lewd and lascivious exposing sex organs to another under the age of 16. It's not clear if Kane exposed himself at the Walmart or at some other point before the cops picked him up. So, and they didn't release a explanation of that. So he, on the same day, he was arrested for indecent exposure.
Wow, he just went on a tour.
Dude looks like his mugshot looks like someone drew a picture on a thumb. Like someone drew a face on a thumb.
He's Kyle Rittenhouse without the charm and
right. And curly Q tail. I don't even know where to go with that. I mean, he's just he just walked into a Walmart, started attacking Bud cans, mistakenly getting other cans. It's just so weird that people get so worked up over.
Well, I mean, this guy's a fucking loser and a creep.
Oh yeah.
But again, this is all ginned up by this, like, the right-wing media. Like I said, like those 3 recent gun incidents, like that shit's not didn't come out of nowhere.
No,
it's all because of right-wing media on social media, NRA, all that shit. Now this thing with this Bud Light. So we talked about this before, and I guess I've learned a little more about this Bud Light thing.
Yeah.
So it all started because Dylan Mulvaney did some like ad or whatever at Bud Light, and they basically gave her a one-off prop with her face on the can.
A commemorative can, yeah.
Yeah. It's like a gift to her. And so she's this trans person, and she's a big personality on TikTok, I guess. She's been invited to the White House. She's been a target of the right for a while now. They just go after this person.
Yeah.
And they say all kinds of horrible things about this person, like real disgusting shit. And so this story came out, and the right wing made it sound like that Bud Light was going to be selling the Dylan Mulvaney the trans woman on a can of Bud Light at your local Walmart. Like, yeah. I thought that, like, okay, was there like a limited run or whatever? Like, I knew they were exaggerating anyway, but I didn't realize that it was to the point where it was literally just a prop can they gave her. It was like,
you couldn't find one if you wanted one.
I mean, it's like so fucking stupid. And they basically enraged people. You see all these jackasses throwing Bud Light away.
Yeah.
The real dumb shit. You got Congress Dan Crenshaw chucking in and drinking a beer from the same company because he's a dumbass. All these, then you see that one guy grifting where he's selling right-wing beer. It's just it's brewed in the same place they make Bud Light. So he's just charging like double, if not triple, the price of Bud Light to jackasses.
Yeah.
Like
it is remarkable that it's like so contrived and manufactured, and then ordinary, I guess not ordinary, but like average people, so to speak, get so worked up over it. So worked up over it.
I mean, like that guy who got arrested who was throwing cans and explosions. That guy's a fucking creep. But the reality is, you're telling me that these two are not connected. They're totally connected. It's because of the outrage over Bud Light. Would he be in a Walmart doing that? No, he wouldn't. Would he do the other thing? Probably, because he's a creep.
This guy's a problem anyway. But there's a lot of ways people with problems can go about their lives. Some people who got a lot of problems get hooked up with, like, I don't know, a cat sanctuary, and they become super fixated on cats, and it's weird, and they don't have a lot of friends, but it's like a relatively productive life. They're like, oh, this is the cat whisperer. He just hangs out with these cats or whatever. Other people
if only someone put a cat in his arm, we would not have this problem.
Well, other people get worked up in they're super crazy, and they go to church a lot, and it's like a middle of the road church, not a weird one, and they get involved and they sing in the choir, and and that's their life, and it's not the life I would choose, but they don't bother anyone, but
it's just like a little off and whatever. It's like I said, it's like that guy Stuart Rhodes, that's his name.
Sloth.
The guy, the guy who I guess he was pressed charged of sedition, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Harry Six guy, and I said if someone just gave him a 20-sided die and let him master a D&D game,
right
now he just
like
really strict, annoying dungeon master.
That could be the case, but like this guy, because of Fox or OAN, because of something, this guy isn't singing in a choir or petting cats. He's like looking around in a...
Think about this man could be petting cats, but instead he's destroying a bush light at the Walmart, exposing his penis to a young person.
Right.
If only someone put a precious little kitty in his hand or shoved him in a church choir. Why not both? Let's keep him really busy. He can have a cat in his hand while he's at the church choir.
Seriously, like he could have had productive things to fill his life.
There's like somebody listening to this podcast who works at a cat sanctuary,
right?
And goes to a church choir, and they're like, "Wait, I have like lots of friends. What are you saying?"
Yes, you could also be very
These
healthy.
These are things I like to do. I'm not this. Thank God I have them, or I would be at the Walmart destroying beer section because Bush Light's putting out a line of Tran cans, and I what the fuck?
I know that I've been I've seen groups where like a lot of them are relatively normal and well adjusted, but there's one that's kind of loopy, and the other people in the group know that, and they kind of keep that
What's
person
that
on
character?
even
That
keel.
woman from Yellow Jackets. What's her name?
Misty.
The Misty of the group. Hey, real quick, do you think that you've been watching it?
Yeah.
You know that one that like her friend?
Yeah.
Do you think that girl's real?
That's a good question.
There's a lot of theories that like they think that girl's not real. But
yeah, I could see that.
That Mitzi's nuts and she's talking to someone that's not there.
I could see that. Yeah, but like anyway, this guy was poisoned by Fox and by right-wing media, and that's he thinks this is acceptable. He thinks this will gain him acceptance in that community. He thinks it's kind of his obligation or duty, and even regular shitty people hate that. You know, even regular shitty Republicans look at this and they're like, you are not helping. You know, we hate trans people as much as you do, but you can't, you know, you can't destroy the
beer section at the Walmart.
You can't destroy beer and then, you know, expose your kielbasa to kids. You can't do that. So
it's a thing. Did you hear about we'll wrap this up in a few minutes, but did you hear about that Ali Alexander guy?
Yeah, I did.
Exposing himself. So Ali Alexander is this weirdo. He's like a Trump MAGA grifter. Did he get arrested for January 6th? He was one of the he like orchestrated or one of the
I don't know if he got arrested, but he was one of the orchestrators of it.
So he's just this like he's this weird dude. I think he was Muslim.
Yeah.
I don't know. He converted.
It's like, yeah.
He's a strange guy. And he's a full-on right-wing grifter. The guy's been fucking arrested. The guy, like most of these clowns have like mugshots. That's like always about these people. And it came out that this guy, well, besides the fact that they're huge hypocrites, he's either bi or gay, whatever.
Yeah.
But he was basically literally grooming. Came out.
Oh, yeah.
Grooming some really young men. And again, it's just this shit just tracks too much.
It does.
And it's gross because you saw that a lot last year, like and they would say like Disney were groomers. That was the other thing before the whole DeSantis thing. One thing they were pushing, right? They were making like shirts of like the Disney logo and it said groomer.
Yeah.
And it was
I remember that.
And what's gross about it is like, okay, like, yeah, we know that this is gross, but like you're kind of like, I don't know the words devaluing, but like there's real sex crimes and real abuse against
there are real groomers, you know. I mean that is true.
And you're kind of like distorting it and then
making it harder to identify. You're making it much harder to identify.
You're making it, and like in the past year or two, we've just been seeing nonstop barrage of like a lot of these clowns being exposed as being actual groomers.
Yeah. That's real true.
So I don't know what the deal with that guy is, but I mean, he was already a creep to begin with, Ali Alexander. But it's just like when you find that out now, you're just like, oh, shock among shocks.
That tracks.
Yeah, that's what I said. It was always the funniest thing when Trump got indicted and had to go to court and basically get fingerprinted and everything. He was the first major Epstein Black Book or whatever.
Yeah, right.
To get arrested. You know, they've been always saying, like, when are you going to arrest these people? There's one right there.
That one, yeah.
The big fish. That's one of the big ones. But yeah, back to the like I said, the Bud Light thing. Like I'm sick of talking about it, but like I think it's a great example of like, especially seeing like these shootings. So it's like it's all tied together. This brain rot that's been made by right-wing media, Fox News getting sued. It's like it's all like a culmination of things, and it's like literal poison in our minds, like poison.
Oh yeah.
Like they've been just poisoning. And the thing is that maybe they weren't as extreme in the beginning, but once they got you hooked, they just get more extreme. Yeah. And then you don't even, because I'm always like, I always think about that. I'm like, I'll see like right wingers, and I'm like, all right, I get it. You were like for this years ago, How are you for this now?
Yeah, it's an
It only makes sense
shift.
that what?
It's an odd shift. Yeah.
No, but I mean, like, you go even further and more crazy. What you probably would have thought was nuts 3 years ago, 4 years ago. Now you're like all fine with, and I'm like, clearly this is like your brain is just being constantly rotted by hate and lies and
Yeah. It is. And I see it only accelerating. I don't see it getting better.
I mean,
not in the near future.
I'm glad these places are getting sued.
Oh yeah, that'll help.
But I think there's so much money and politics involved that the Fox ain't going anywhere,
Yeah.
And you're like, what's even like a $750 million to them? They probably
right. That's like, someone said they made that much in the first 3 months after the election.
Yeah.
That this is basically 3 months of income for them. It still hurts, but like they could make it up again tomorrow if they ran a series on like,
but like
we're gonna do an 18-part series on Hunter Biden's laptop. Yeah, yep. Right. And we're
that's someone who should fucking sue.
Yeah, 100%. So
because like, isn't it true about? We'll wrap this up in a minute. Isn't it true about the laptop? Like, supposedly, like New York Post got their hands on it or something, and like nothing came out of it because it's all bullshit.
Yeah, it's all like it's a combination of bullshit. It's like if I left my laptop somewhere and it was out of my custody for like 9 months, then like a lot can happen. I mean, like, I guess you can timestamp some of it, but like, who's to say? I mean, sometimes I'll open up like documents on my Mac and it's got like a date from before, like the date system's wrong or something. I know like a computer expert can get in there and give some clues, but like you can't have something out of custody for that long and treat it as evidence, So whatever.
Yeah. All right. Well, I hopefully, I don't know. I mean, I think unfortunately these type of incidents, like those shootings and stuff, that's just gonna keep happening.
Yeah, I agree.
That's like, and to me, that's scarier than even like these mass shootings. I mean, we're talking like just basic functional things.
Right.
Like, you're like, how do you even have a neighborhood, a society anymore?
Yeah, that's the thing.
These are the same assholes who are like, will be like, we should be able to like be friends with our neighbor.
Yeah.
Walk through people's backyards. And like, yeah, but you're the motherfuckers shooting people. Oh yeah.
Right. Oh yeah. That is also us.
Well, that's because, and they say something fucking racist or something.
Yeah, right.
They always have that. Anytime I hear that from like an old person or anything, let's say something like, we used to be able to do this, it's always because
yep.
The neighborhoods got more diverse. And it's just like, oh, okay, you're just a racist. All right, never mind.
Yeah, it always has something to do with like the 1950s, and it's always something
made up, leave it to beaver bullshit that never existed.
Yes. Yeah. It didn't even exist back then. You're looking at like it didn't even exist back then. Like they're mistaking. It's like I lived through the 80s. It wasn't all like Back to the Future. Like.
It's fucked up too. Like, think about like trick or treaters and shit like that. Like you could like go trick or treating and have some old nut with a gun who's just got an itchy finger. It's so. I don't know. That shit scares the crap out of me. I mean, because it should scare anybody because it's like. Yeah. I mean, like I said, I back up in the driveways all the time. I just love to do it.
Oh yeah, I do too.
They're like, hey, it's back up Rob. He's doing his thing. And I'm like, hey, everybody. And I do a little fist pump thing.
Right.
No, I go like this. Backing up.
Back up, Rob. That is my name. That name again is Back Up, Rob.
I don't like that name. That name
like
sucks.
Mr. Plow.
Mr. Plow, yeah.
Yeah.
The guy backs slightly up into your driveway. And his mortal enemy, the Noid with the shotgun.
Yeah, right. Oh, Jesus.
Mr. No backup.
Right.
Like, what the fuck? Dude, I
God.
hope that guy who shot that girl, like, gets, like, just thrown in jail.
I think he's fucked. I think that seems to me to be a really egregious one.
It's like
especially because
especially
because New York doesn't have a standard ground law.
Well, this is Texas. I'm talking.
That guy. Yeah, I think he's fucked. But
you think he's fucked too?
Yeah, I do too. I think the Missouri guy. Look, I believe the Missouri guy's guilty. I think he should probably go to jail or whatever. But I don't see. If I were the Missouri guy, I'd probably be thinking I'm not going to spend a day in jail. I mean, like, if there's a standard ground law and he was in his own home and a guy was, it just all to me seems like
it's just what's crazy about this is like I feel like it's all three of the same guy.
Yeah,
like there was a show years ago that didn't last on it was like CBS. It was like some sitcom ahead. The guy from Night Court,
John Larroquette.
Yeah, John Larroquette, Bobby Moynihan, and some kid actor, and they were they all played a different version of the same character. Like it's the same character at points of their lives. That's and one thing I never made sense was like, wait, you're telling me that Bobby Moynihan is supposed to be?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that this doesn't make any sense. It's like a different person.
Yeah.
I think John Larroquette's like a foot taller than him too.
Right.
But. And that's kind of like what this is. It's like a hothead gun, some middle-aged asshole with a gun, who's a hothead, and then just an old, confused racist with a gun. It's like literally the same guy.
Yeah, real.
It's scary.
Oh, all right.
Cool.
That is scary.
Well, wait. So next week we have no Mandalorian.
Right.
What are we gonna talk about?
Well, we could talk Yellow Jackets. That's been kind of interesting. We could talk what else we got? What?
Grogu.
Yeah, it is.
I know what's his face is on the show now. He's kind of like Grogu, Elijah Wood, but
yeah,
he's not that smart.
I don't know. I'll take a look around. There's some stuff we can talk about, I'm sure.
Yeah, we'll figure something out. We'll talk about I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure we'll talk about horrible shit in the world.
There you go. That's the spirit.
This was the 250th episode. And 251. We, just like the end of Mandalorian, we got to do a little. Maybe it feels like a series finale, but go on further adventures. You're sitting on your chair in front of the house, and I'm by my pond in my little potato sack outfit, lifting a frog with my mind,
shuffling through my phone, looking at my Trump NFTs.
Oh man, they're better. Fucking, I expect to get paid from those. You better, this shit better be not some kind of fucking crypto scheme or something.
No,
like those Rittenhouse ones you bought last time. Gonna be rich,
right?
Trump sitting eating a cheeseburger. It's a Trump dressed up as a little cowboy.
No, Trump was the green M&M is still the best.
Yes, sure. Trump with poopy pants diaper.
Yeah, that's the one.
All right.
All right.
Well, on that note, I'm Rob Israel.
I'm Joseph K.
You still going on about
that?
Thank you for listening to You Still Going On About That. Please like, comment, share, and if you haven't done already, please follow us on Instagram, YSGOAT, Facebook, YSGOAT, and Twitter, YSGOAT. Thank you, and have a great day.